Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Hello again and welcome to the Cathedral of Wisdom, rising like a phoenix from a tryptophan coma. This is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
We gotta do the dance. It's kind of like the Ravens
can't do
dance, right? Or the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, I'm not doing the Dirty Bird.
Oh, well then do the Phoenix and rise
from the tryptophan coma.
Yes.
Yeah. So
How are you, Timmy D?
I am doing well. We're back from our Thanksgiving hiatus. We took a week off so that we could enjoy spending time with family. I hope everyone listening, had an incredible Thanksgiving. They ate a lot of turkey. They read a lot of comics, watched some TV.
Absolutely, and got so pumped for all the great shows that came back this week.
Oh, yeah, they really nailed it.
I mean, we're getting into some real prime territory for great content right at the end of the year always.
Yes.
So it's like they do this right on the holidays.
Yes, they do. It was this. We had the Flash last night. We've got the second part of Arrow tonight. When we're recording, of course, is in between the two, unfortunately. So we don't get to talk about all of them. But yeah, we've got the first part of that to the Arrow Flash crossover to talk about.
That was fun.
Although we haven't seen it, we're going to kind of touch a little bit on The Walking Dead. We haven't, Mike and I haven't caught up yet.
Nope, we will.
And we also, this week we've got the second part of our Flash showcase.
Awesome.
We did Jay Garrick and Barry Allen first. We split it up to this week we're going to have Wally West, Bart Allen, and then some incidental flashes.
Wow.
That a little flash of a
incidental flash.
Yes. Ones that have been, there's just kind of as an alternate version.
Okay.
So we have that. We also, in our Exploring the Multiverse segment, we have the, what did they call it?
This is the second crisis.
The second crisis is what they called it. This was from a run in Animal Man that was written by Grant Morrison, which is kind of, Mike, this is your first
my God.
exposure to Grant Morrison's writing. So this is going to be interesting. I'm telling you.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, he's wacky. He is wacky.
Yeah.
So we're going to have that in our Exploring the Multiverse segment. We'll have the second crisis in Animal Man, which I've never been a huge fan of Animal Man. So this will be interesting.
I didn't know he was.
yeah, exactly. So we also have news from movie and TV. Like we said, we were talking about the crossover for Flash and Arrow.
Right.
We've also we're getting closer to Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Oh my God.
So more stuff, and I'm trying to stay away from it.
I have a Star Wars Force Awakens advent calendar at my house.
Mark it off the days.
No, it's got chocolate in it.
No.
So it's only add to that agony of waiting. Yeah.
So, we're getting closer to that, and we're also in our comic rack. We're going to talk about the big release, Dark Knight 3: The Master Race.
Oh, yes.
That came out this past week. I read it. You have not read it yet.
I thumbed through it yesterday when I was in Heroes. And
it's $6. It's a commitment.
Yeah, I had some purchasing to do, so
yeah,
that was a week behind.
Anyway, I'm looking at I for a while. I mean, usually the stuff that I read currently now is all digital.
Yes.
But this one, I was like, okay, this one I need to have.
You got digital though, didn't you?
I did get digital, but I'm reading the current issues in digital, but I'll get like when they bundle it together in a trade paperback or something like that.
Like they originally
then
did.
I'll get.
Like with the original Dark Knight.
Yeah, that I will actually get because that's something I want to have on my bookshelf right next to the other two.
Oh, you got the other two?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Well, I know you got the first one.
Yeah, and I have the second one. Don't exactly go back to read that all the time, but
I heard mixed things about that.
Wasn't that great?
Really?
It was not that great.
But 3 is good. You think it's the saving?
So far, yes, it's been very good.
And then we'll have the fourth one, right? Isn't Frank Miller writing his own?
Yeah, he is saying he's going to write his own too.
He said he's going to. Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. You also in the first issue you have the mini comic with the Atom, which Frank Miller draws that one.
Right. Yeah.
So it's I know a lot of people complained about his variant covers, that they looked bad. Just I mean it's Frank Miller, so it's very stylized.
yeah.
And I think he was going more over the top on his covers, but in the Atom mini comic, you see Frank Miller when he's doing what he does best. He's big, square-jawed.
Totally. Even Adam's logo wasn't like nuclear; it was like boxes.
Yeah, it was a little different. Yeah, he had changed his costume. Yeah, because this is all in the Dark Knight world.
So he can do what he wants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but it's well worth. I think it's well worth the $6 to go. I mean, of course, it's not that much digital, but still.
And to plug our local hometown hero, we got Brian Stelfreeze, who was at Heroes this past weekend on
Did you make that?
Saturday. No, I didn't get out to that. Yeah. I don't think I could move on Saturday.
yeah. Both my daughter Emma and I both were not feeling that great, so she really wanted to just go. Well, as she put it, I told her Brian Stelfreeze would be there, and she was like, "Hey, somebody famous." But the main thing that she wanted was to go and shop for a friend of hers.
Okay.
Who is starting to get into Green Lantern. So she was like, "Okay, I want to go and find something." I was like, "You know what? We can do that online here. I know it would be really cool to support your local comic book shop, but I don't feel good today." So.
Yeah, we're not supporting that 40-person line.
That too, yeah. It would be jam packed.
But Brian did a variant cover. That's I think one of the best.
Yeah,
it's like a watercolor drawing with Carrie Kelly, and then there's
the two
Superman.
Of them, right?
No, it's just Carrie Kelly.
Oh, okay.
It's beautiful. You just need to check it out. It's like just well done. And then there's the shadow of Superman.
Oh, okay.
Leaning over her, which you guess you understand because you've read it.
Well, we'll get into that when we get to the comic rack, because I don't want to spoil too much, but I think there's some that we can talk about the things that happen. But there's a big giant twist at the end.
Cool.
That I'm definitely not gonna talk about.
Okay. Thank you. Wow, that's rare, Timmy.
I'm trying. I'm trying. See,
I like when you want to get mileage out of things.
Yeah, I'm gonna squeeze it.
Yeah.
But some things that happen. We always like to start out with tidbits that happened over the week.
You got lots of bits.
I do.
Those tidbits.
Well, hey, it's like giblet gravy. It comes with Thanksgiving, so. First thing, happy birthdays go out to Kevin Conroy.
Thanks.
As far as I'm concerned, one of the best Batman out there. You can't. I mean, it's not even. You don't have to say voice of Batman. He's
just Batman.
Yeah, he's just Batman. For somebody who watched the animated series like I did religiously every day, his voice is Batman's voice.
And he's been on, I think there's been like maybe 2 or 3 things that have had Batman in it where Kevin Conroy has not been the voice. I think he's done everything. Yeah, pretty much.
He did all the I think he did the JLA animated series and
he did
and all that stuff. And
then the Brave and the Bold, and then the Batman. Those sort of later animated series. So it's like he's a mainstay.
He's just like
the
Mark
games?
Hamill.
Right.
Yes.
Mark Hamill was Joker, right, on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And
just
then
like
the Trickster.
Just like actually Trickster came first.
Oh my God!
So
the original Flash series.
Yes, if you watch that Flash series, there's like 4 episodes that he appears as the Trickster, and he gets closer and closer to the Joker, and like a year later, animated series premieres, and
he can cut loose.
He's just nailed it.
Yeah, because when he's Joker for the voice, he can be as crazy as he wants to be, but when he's Trickster, he doesn't want to look. You look a little silly when you kind of go very dramatic.
By the end of that series, I mean it was only 1 season, but by the time they got towards the end of that season, it was campy as hell.
Yeah, they lost the edge. They didn't know what to do.
They were just trying to do whatever they could to keep it on the air.
Superhero drama wasn't a thing then.
Not at all.
So it's
you had the 1989 Batman movie,
right?
But it had a little camp in it too.
Oh, totally.
So that was the thing. They wanted to kind of play that edge there,
right?
And then they were, like I said, it wasn't getting good ratings, so they just started.
They went all
more,
camp, right? And the rest of the Batman movies up till the Nolan time were all Yeah.
It's worse and worse progressively.
Well, we love Kevin, and he's old. Damn.
Yeah, he's 60 years old. He just turned 60 years old.
Hey, watch it.
Also, Kaylee Kuko from Big Bang Theory.
Oh.
Just turned 30 years old.
Child.
And Don Cheadle, War Machine.
Sweet.
And like 1,000 other things that he's played.
Hotel Rwanda.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
He just drops into a movie, curses a lot, and then right back out.
You had one job to do.
He just turned 51. So there's your birthday roundup.
Wow, he does not look it. That's great.
He does not. Yeah, he looks great. So, he's Don Cheadle. I mean, he's 70 years old. He's still gonna be cool as hell.
Oh, he's gonna
because he's Don
smooth.
Cheadle.
Yeah.
And this is a really cool story that has to do with our friends in the 501st.
Yeah, I saw this.
R2KT, which is a pink version of R2D2. It was made, the Albin Johnson, the guy who started the 501st.
Yeah.
His daughter, Katie, was diagnosed with brain cancer.
Oh.
While she was fighting that, Albin had a droid maker make a pink version of R2D2
for her. Awesome.
And it kind of sat by her bedside and watched over her. While she was fighting cancer. Unfortunately, she lost the battle with cancer.
Oh, man.
And passed away. But R2KT was in the Clone Wars TV show, and it will make its live action debut in The Force Awakens.
Get out of here.
It's going to be in the movie.
That is so awesome.
That is really awesome. It's something that, I mean, it's something like that. If you don't know the story, you see it, oh, cool. It's a pink R2D2.
That's it,
which is
right.
exactly what I did when the first time I saw it.
Yeah, right.
But then when you find the story behind it, and it's R2KT for Katie.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what does that stand for? That makes total sense.
Yeah, it's a hell of a story, and the fact that they're using it in the 501st is just another instance of the Star Wars organization, for lack of a better term,
right,
acknowledging the 501st. In episode 3, I think a section of, or maybe the original name of the 501st was Vader's Fist. That's what they called.
Because it was a group. It was a Vader and then a group of troopers, right?
Yeah, and they called themselves Vader's Fist. In episode 3, when he went to go to the Jedi Temple to kill the younglings, that was who was with him, the 501st Vader's Fist.
Oh.
So they acknowledged that, and called him that.
That's awesome
in the movie. So it's like a tip of the cap to guys who have been out there. And
how long's the 501st been around?
90s maybe.
Wow.
I think.
Showcase idea.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll have to talk to Marcus, and our friend Marcus, who is in the 501st, is a TIE fighter pilot, which he has a TK. No, he's a TI. Designation number.
Right. He's an interceptor.
I can't remember. I need
pilot.
I need to memorize his number so I can actually call him by his number. And I actually also not last week, but the week before, we had Chuck Wendig here.
Oh, yeah.
The author of the Star Wars Aftermath.
Marcus was here, right?
Yeah, we had several members of the 501st, and I actually asked him, I was like, okay, is there a TK-427, which is the one on the A New Hope, the one that Han and Luke beat up, and the guy comes on the intercom and goes, TK-427, why aren't you at your post? And Luke walks out and does like this, like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
I was like, is there a 427? They said, nope. Nope, you can't use that one because it's been used on it. Yeah.
Well, he's dead. Right?
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah.
Or he's in the trash compactor.
Yeah, he's somewhere.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
He don't want to be.
He didn't make it. Yeah, he's one of the remembered.
Yeah. So yeah, we should
that's cool.
Check in with Marcus about that, with the history, when they started.
That'd be so cool. That'd be a great episode. Let's do that.
Yeah, he can rattle it off easy too, so he knows it all. So.
Yeah.
And the Florida State Marching Band formed an X-Wing fighter during their halftime show this past week.
Were they sued?
Nope. No, they worked, and it worked out better than the Jayhawks making the Enterprise.
Yeah.
That happened earlier this year.
That
and,
ended up looking like
the
something
Kansas
horrible.
Yeah, the Kansas State. Is it Kansas? It's Kansas Jayhawks. The Kansas State band made the form of a Kansas Jayhawk, which is their rival, and then it was supposed to be the Starship Enterprise shooting the Jayhawk. Unfortunately, it looked like a sexual act going on.
Really?
And it was
intriguing to me.
It was not accepted well.
Oh.
So the Florida State marching band pulled off the X-wing fighter much better apparently. So
I think the sexual act, because it's Florida, probably looked a little more attractive than the one in Kansas.
What are you saying about Kansas?
Cornfields. I don't know. Yeah,
it is what it is. A couple of weeks ago we talked about George Barris, the designer of the original Batmobile,
right?
had passed away. He was laid to rest in a custom Batmobile coffin.
Holy pine box.
It
Timmy.
was awesome. It had
That's
fins. It had the whole 9 yards. It was awesome.
Did it have like worm repellent?
It's just a big can.
There's a big can.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
Oh,
So
that's great.
if you're going to go out in style.
Damn, that's
And
incredible.
if you're George Barris, you got to. I mean, you just have to. So.
Wow,
And the guy who plays the Mountain on Game of Thrones. Have you ever watched Game of Thrones?
No,
I don't know if we've ever talked about it.
Of course I watch Game of Thrones.
I don't know that.
I gave you my resume. You didn't call my reference?
See, I haven't watched. I watched the first 3 seasons and haven't watched since then.
Dude, I am hooked.
Yeah.
Hooked. It's so bad. It's really. I look at the maps all the time.
Yeah. Trying to figure out. I've seen a Google Map version of Westeros. Which is pretty funny.
It's okay. There's the show world, just like there's Walking Dead show and then Walking Dead comic world. The novels and the show. It's like Harry Potter as well.
Yeah,
There's all this extended stuff.
Yeah.
But what's up with him?
Yeah, the guy who plays the Mountain. I had to write down his name. It's Hafthor Julius Bjornsson.
Oh, Hafthor. It's my homeboy.
Hafthor. Yeah. He shattered the Guinness World Record for beer keg tossing. It was his own record too, that he broke.
That's the way you got to do it.
That's right. Yeah, he tossed a steel beer keg that weighed 33 pounds. He tossed it 24 feet 6 inches.
Ooh. That doesn't sound like amazing, but that's amazing.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And he the record that he broke was 20 feet.
Oh,
so
damn.
he knocked the crap out of it.
Yeah.
And dude, I didn't realize he was this big. He's 6'9" and he weighs 419 pounds.
Well, that's why they don't call him the Piedmont.
Yeah, that's a big
The
dude.
molehill.
He's not a molehill. He is the mountain. Exactly.
That's awesome.
So, and this is another really cool story I read this week. Chris Hemsworth paid off his parents' debts.
Yeah.
When he got the part in Thor and got that first big payday.
Bam.
He paid off everything for his parents.
So why not? You got that's the best use of, because it could end tomorrow.
Oh,
or
yeah,
it could have
absolutely.
been a flop.
At the very least, they're now taken care of. Mm-hmm. So they don't have any more bills they have to pay. So they can save money to prepare for retirement or whatever. And yeah, so at the very least, that's taken care of. That's why I always said, if the inevitable discussion of, you hit the lottery, what do you do with it? Right. First thing I do is I buy in cash. I buy a house. So that way it's all paid for. I'm not going to pay any payments. That way, like you said, if it all comes crashing down tomorrow, I got that house.
That's right.
I just have to pay the taxes on it, but still.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's not too bad in this area.
Yeah. Yeah. So but it was an awesome story. And his brother, Liam Hemsworth, is also an actor, but hasn't, blew up like
he's the Robbie Amell. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
But Robbie's doing pretty good for himself.
Yeah, so. Robbie's doing pretty good. Yeah. So, but yeah, he hasn't hit the blockbuster like Thor. I mean, he's done some really good stuff, and I'm sure he's making decent money.
He's a Billy Baldwin. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Billy Baldwin. Yeah. But there's 1,000 of them. Yeah. 1,000 Baldwins running around. So it was a cool story to see somebody that. It's nice to see somebody that we watch on the screen
do the right thing.
Yeah, being a hero like they play on the screen.
He didn't get a Rari to put his Glock in. He paid off his parents' debt.
He paid off his parents' debt. Yeah,
so now he can do whatever he wants, and they'll never.
Yeah, exactly. As far as
scandal, crazy.
Yeah. Just, hey, I paid off my parents' stuff. So
yeah.
But let's head into our movie and TV news. A 49-second clip was released during Gotham for Batman versus Superman. Have you seen this?
No. Are you watching Gotham again?
No. But they released it online.
Oh, okay. So you saw it?
I'm still behind on Gotham. I'm like 4 episodes behind.
You were my inspiration.
It's like a catch-up pack. There's only so much time I have. If I spin it over here, it moves over to it's like you squeeze one side of the catch-up pack, it moves over to the other side.
What is this metaphor?
Just work with me here. It's catch up. You know what I'm talking about. There's only so many hours. There's only so much catch up. But this clip shows you remember in the trailer that we got the first time, you see the shock troopers that like have the S on their sleeve.
Right, trying to
like kneeling down when he comes through.
Oh, right.
We get that scene. We start off Batman looking like the Moscow Batman from Red Son.
Oh, do you have the hat?
He didn't have the hat, but he had the overcoat.
Oh.
He's up in chains.
Oh.
He's and there's like 2 guys on either side of him, and he kind of wakes up and he looks around like, okay, what the hell's going on here? What am I doing? And all of a sudden, Superman comes down through like this, almost like a manhole cover. He drops from above. All the troopers drop to one knee. He walks up to Batman, grabs his cowl and rips off his mask, and then holds it. And he's got this angry look on his face, and he holds it off to the side and drops it, and it cuts back to like Bruce looking all scared.
Damn.
That was the clip they released.
Oh,
I think that is Bruce's nightmare.
Oh, okay.
This is what he thinks.
he'll face when he
exactly
meets Superman. Okay.
Yeah, but this is what could happen if he goes to the dark side, for lack of a better term. Because Superman looks pissed the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's not like his character.
And we're supposed to think, they'll become friends. Like that's the inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it's.
And so
Batman
I think they're
versus
releasing
Superman.
this, and they're not saying this is his dream, like this is his nightmare of what could happen if Superman's unchecked.
Well, every good trailer confuses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because Superman's not going to allow shock troopers with guns to wear his symbol.
No.
That's just not going to happen.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's what it is. Is this is showing what Bruce Wayne thinks is going to happen, and but the clip was intense.
I want to see this.
It was very intense. It's online. You can. I'm pretty sure I put it on the Facebook page, so you can check out.
Cool. I read that page, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's a good one.
So,
yeah.
And a full trailer will be released on Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight.
Oh, nice.
So we'll get a full new trailer.
What a week of goodies.
I'm telling you, yeah. Yeah, and I was thinking about this. I meant to mention this to you before, but we're live. I'm going to hammer it right out there. We need to do, in December, the Year in Geek.
Oh, that's
look back at 2015 and everything that's happened and gone on, and just do a year-end review.
Oh, that sounds great. Okay, we'll do our top 10 and our picks.
There you go. Yeah, and in 2016 will be the year we run out of money because everything else is coming out.
Because you know what's making that list? Your absolute nerd rage meltdown on Convergence. Okay, and then the other one is your absolute nerd rage meltdown on Into Darkness.
You caused that.
I'd never been so schooled in my life. Okay? Thought you were in my class. I guess I'm in yours.
You're in my world now.
I'm in your world.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. I can't help it. The nerd rage just comes out every once in a while.
Damn. It's like you got like the Zoom eyeballs. Like,
I did, yes. I can't help it.
Crazy.
So when you mess with Star Trek. You make me mad. And okay, we were talking about The Flash.
Mm-hmm.
That was on last night. The first part of this season's crossover, because it's become like a tradition now that they have a crossover.
Well, it's got to be a crisis.
And I think now that we get Legends of Tomorrow, I don't know if they're going to be on at the same time.
Yeah, have they announced when CW is going to do that?
The Legends of Tomorrow premieres January 21st, I think it is. So it's going to be. I don't know if that's lining up with their hiatus or what. How it's going to. But it's going to be on Thursdays. So that was Emma's immediate thought was like Supergirl on Monday, Flash on Tuesday, Arrow on Wednesday, and Legends of Tomorrow on Thursday.
Right.
So like that fills up her whole week. So
I know. with just like depression on Friday.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's recovery day.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if they're going to be on concurrently. So would they be able to do like a 3-way crossover with all of them?
That would be sexy.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
And you were saying because we had heard that Cisco is going to be on.
Yeah, we just saw that. That just came out this morning. That Cisco will be a regular on Legends of Tomorrow. That's going to be interesting how they pull that off.
Jumping from show to show.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, not only is it not in the same city, it's not in the same time.
Uh-huh.
The trailer we've seen for Legends of Tomorrow, they go back to the 70s, which they did mention specifically 1975 is when they got that picture of Vandal Savage last night in the episode.
That's right.
So
where he looks the same.
They specifically mentioned 1975, and that's when they go back to.
Awesome.
And Casper Crump, the guy who plays Vandal Savage.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he was so awesome.
Wasn't he great?
He was absolutely awesome. I love a villain like that just revels in the fact that they're just evil. They're just over the top evil.
He was great. I mean, I felt like he was a Terminator. He just was unstoppable. And like the knife part where Barry, that was incredible.
It was really good. Yeah. And Barry had to catch them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, it was a really, I think in a show that had to do so many things.
It really had a big checklist.
So well.
It really perfect. Yeah, we were saying earlier that like there was just little moments that were just enough, and then the bigger moments were like exactly what they needed to be.
Yeah.
And then they moved on. Right.
Yeah.
And they laid down groundwork for obviously
absolutely.
for bigger things. And then tonight, what's going to happen tonight, right?
Yeah. I'll assume that you'll fold into having the Canaries in there and have Adam.
Yeah, Adam will be
that'll get the whole band together.
The whole
basically.
Legends. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I wonder if Rip Hunter's going to show up tonight or whether it's going to be.
I bet he might come at the end, maybe just to sort of like let the team bond, and then he'll be like come on, Marty, get in the DeLorean. No, is that not right, guy?
That's a different movie. But we also we got to see not Velocity 9.
But 6.
But 6.
So they're working on it.
Yeah. So is this going to be a progression where we get up to Velocity 9? And is that how Jay's going to permanently get his speed back?
So what's the significance of Velocity 9?
Velocity 9 was actually, in the comics, was created by Vandal Savage.
Oh.
And it's a drug that gives people super speed temporarily.
Okay.
But it in different versions of it causes real problems.
Like what?
Like it's like addictive for one thing. And then it causes
it's real speed.
Yeah. And it causes problems in the bodies because they're not prepared for
to
and
run
Jay was
that fast.
Yeah, Jay was okay because he'd had super speed before.
Right.
But for people who haven't had that connection to the Speed Force before, it can cause problems.
Wow.
So, but
it worked on Jay.
It did, yeah.
But for a moment, right?
Yeah, it was temporary. It was temporary. But the thing was,
oh wow,
Jay didn't have that power to phase through things.
Yeah.
So that was
he learned that, or is he not fast enough to do that? Right.
No, that was just something they came up with for Barry in the comics.
Oh.
So, but it also begs, okay, if you're phasing through his chest, how are you picking up the bullet?
Timmy, this is where you got to just let go,
let it go
of the science, and enjoy the magic. I mean, that was cool, and it was like, how else were they going to do it? I mean,
it's true, yeah.
And I really thought, like, damn, Harrison's dead.
Well, that was the thing when that was a huge
Patty
shock.
put him down.
Yes,
she
did not mess
BA.
around, man.
No, I was,
yeah. She said, don't move any closer or I'll shoot. He moved closer, she shot.
Yeah.
I warned you.
That's her job.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how, because we saw Joe come in and go, "I need you to leave."
Yeah.
She's freaking out because she's obviously done something wrong.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic between the two of them now. Is he going to have to,
Like dial her down?
or he's going to have to either dial her down or clue her in?
Yeah, because she
Not
doesn't
glue her in
know
enough.
yet, right?
No, she doesn't know that obviously doesn't know that Barry's the Flash.
Right.
She knows that Joe knows a little more than he
Lets on. Yeah, right. That's clear.
So yeah, and I don't think she's ever been to Star Labs before. So she just followed Harrison in because she saw him and oh, that's Harrison Wells. He's supposed to be dead. What the hell's going on?
Right.
And so she and he also is the admitted murderer of Nora Allen.
So clearly she should kill him, right? Or get him.
Or get him. Yeah,
some
exactly.
sort.
That was the whole point of her. Yeah, and she was awesome, man. She went in there and she said, don't come any closer or I'll shoot. And he tried to move closer and she took him down. So I mean, good for her. I mean, that's her job. She's a cop. So
Yeah. What do you think about the revealing or the what they call it, the emerging of Hawkgirl?
oh, I loved it. The
That was
CGI
great.
on that looked fantastic.
She almost died. I mean,
Yeah.
that first time.
Yeah,
right?
Barry had to-
hadn't
yeah.
caught her. That would have been. Yep.
Yeah, he had, and that was the thing. It was fun to watch the interaction between Ollie and Barry,
Oh yeah.
and not because it was real. It was absolutely real because they weren't acting one specific way. They weren't a stereotypical thing. Ollie blew up at him. Then he had to back off and go, you know what? Sorry, I was a little much. And then he went too far the other way. And then
Right.
Barry went too far. And it was a normal, organic relationship that humans have with each other. It's not like just a standard pat.
Like you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a real relationship.
And I like too that right between two friends, right, and partners and legends.
And legends, that's right.
But I really, I really like that Ollie's instinct with Connor, right, or Carter
Yeah.
Hall, was different than Barry's. Barry's was like,
Yeah.
no, we're gonna save her.
Yeah.
He was like, and then,
Exactly.
and then Ollie stepped in. I really appreciated that approach.
Yeah.
Because it just was. You're right. I mean, it was just as real as we could get out
Yeah.
of those two. And I'm glad they have good chemistry because I was so worried that like they were going to be just big dorks together,
Yeah.
or like Ollie's going to be like, dude, why are you even here?
Yeah, or it would be like when they first started, when they first interacted, it was almost like Ollie was at the adult table and Barry was at the kids table.
Yeah, right.
That has changed now. They have more of a partner dynamic.
Right.
And that's really good, and especially now that we're including more. And I thought it was funny, and almost telling of the writer saying this, where Thea sat there and went, "Did I know that we knew the Flash?" And I think that was probably somebody in the writing room going, "Wait a minute, has Thea
known that?
Has Thea known that?"
And the answer is no.
Yeah, and so having her do that was I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
It was really, really well done. The only thing about the episode that kind of bugged me was Merlin.
Yeah, he was kind of random.
Yeah,
right?
it was
We
kinda
said that
random.
he sort of served as like a voice.
Yeah, he just it was like a Google search. He popped up to provide a little information about Vandal Savage here and there. I mean, it's cool to see him there, but to have him just kind of pop up in the corner, and Barry even made mention of the fact that he always just appears in a corner.
He does.
And he's like, does he always enter the room that way?
That was kind of that second time, like when Barry was like, "Damn it!" Like,
Exactly.
that was just funny. And then Ollie was like, don't ask.
Don't ask.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
The way they tried to sort of show their worlds. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was weird that he showed. I mean, it wasn't that weird that he showed up because Vandal Savage is a big deal and he has knowledge of it.
Right. It's a mystic based enemy.
Yeah.
Right.
But then he popped in, provided the information, then disappeared.
Yeah.
Then popped back in a little. It was Captain Exposition. Here goes.
Right.
It's just another piece of the plot, and I'm gone.
I
It was a little odd.
That was it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was like a Greek chorus, you know.
Exactly.
It reminded like this is totally weird, but do you remember Carmen Sandiego TV show when
vaguely.
Rockapella would be like the warrant, right? Like that's what I thought.
That's
like,
what it was. Yeah.
He'd be like the motive, right?
I'm just gonna lay this here.
That's right.
And I'll leave.
Well, I thought like sort of the gosh, I'm trying to think back. The Oliver almost died in the beginning of the episode. Damien Dark almost sucked his life force out, and then Barry saved him. Right? He was like, "Woo!"
Oh yeah, Damien Dark. What's his name?
Actor,
McDonough.
Yeah.
It's I think it's
Frank McDonough. I don't know.
something like that. Yeah. Dum Dum Dugan. That's who he is. Yeah, he was awesome in there because he was just like he's another one of those guys who's so just deliciously evil.
Yep.
He's so over the top. He relishes in the fact that he's doing whatever the hell he wants. But they also have motivation. They have real motivation. In their mind, what they're doing
is right.
Yeah.
It's the only way to get.
And that's what you have to be a good villain. I think you have to feel justified.
Yep.
That what you're doing is right.
Right.
And so but they're just so over the top and just wacky fun. I mean, because he's just like the way he's looking at it is it's almost like a cat playing with a mouse before he eats it.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. He was having a little more fun than he expected. So he's just like, ooh, what was that? So it's like something else to play with.
Yeah, right. Which made me think, uh-oh.
Yeah. Now he's got his attention.
Marked. Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't show up again for the rest of the time.
He might.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, he might tonight in the Arrow side of it. So
because we're going to probably go back to Star City.
Yes,
for this episode, right? I imagine.
And which we kind of spent
time in both.
Yeah. But from Arrow, I read something this week that the tattoo that Constantine put on Oliver.
Yeah, what is that?
That will come into play fairly soon in the flashbacks. The thing is, I'm trying to remember, does he still have that?
I think so, because like the few times that he's like done the salmon ladder and some of the workout things, I've seen it.
But he's got so many. That's the thing. I kind of was like,
he's got that round tattoo on his chest, the scarring, and then I think that's the only other one that I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But we'll see. So is it a situation where if he uses the spell, does it go away? Is it like being stored there, and then something happens? So, but it's supposed to come back in the flashback. So
cool.
It's not something that's going to be, or it might come back because it came off of the Orb of Horus.
Right.
And now Vandal Savage has the Staff of Horus.
Ah, so if those two combine.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so I was surprised that Ollie didn't mention Constantine when they were talking about the Staff of Horus.
Yeah, because they were like mystic stuff. So I don't know. Maybe he's supernatural. Is that different? Is that like a different sort of thing?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how they do his origin. In the comics, he was exposed to like a meteorite, and that's how he became immortal.
Oh.
So it wasn't really supernatural, but
this is Vandal Savage.
Yes.
You're talking about. Okay. I thought you meant Constantine.
No. Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Well, maybe they kept this because it was mystic. They kept it with.
I don't know. I mean, he's looking for mystical articles that have power, like the Staff of Horus, which was awesome when he was just laying waste to the two of them with that thing.
Oh man! I mean, it was like, that was a great scene in that church and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like he would. This is a strange place for it to be, though. It's this Egyptian artifact.
That's true, yeah. Let's see. Maybe that's why it's a good place to hide it.
That's true.
People think, it's a strange place for it to be.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we get the second half tonight, and they also announced that Colton Haynes will return as Roy Harper.
Oh, so there's supposed to be 7, right? So who is our maybe?
No, there was 9.
That's 9. Okay.
There were 9 heroes that were going. I don't know if he's going to return in this or whether he's going to return later in the season, but he will return as a regular on the show.
Then we're going to definitely see White Canary.
Yeah. She's going to be on Legends of Tomorrow, so maybe he's coming back to kind of take her place. I don't know. I mean,
I bet we're going to see a moment like in the comics where she says, "I'm tired of this world. There's nothing here for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm undead and."
So she just decides.
So I'm going to go into the future and then do that. And then it's going to be like, oh.
Yeah.
And then Laurel's going to be sad, and then she'll be full Black Canary, and then things will be a little less confusing.
And then also, speaking of the future, we got to look at what until I'm corrected, I'm going to call him Connor, Ollie's son.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right, because you said it was a Connor Queen?
In the comics, he's Connor Hawk.
Connor Hawk.
So, like I said, until I'm corrected, but until they name him, I'm going to call him Connor.
Okay. Yeah. So, we'll find out. That was the ending scene, right, of the episode.
They're in because she moved. Mora Queen paid her $1 million
to move somewhere to Central City.
Yeah. And just make it go away. He doesn't need this pregnancy deal telling you had a miscarriage. Get out.
Dang.
So, and then he saw the kid and handed the Flash action figure to the kid and kind of
said, "Hold on to him."
Kind of looked at him weird, and then he saw him run over to his mom, and he definitely recognized his mom.
Totally, yeah. I think he even had a moment.
Yeah,
which remembered what she looked like.
The Flash action figure is the same one that Emma has.
Yeah, it's the real one.
It's hilarious. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we got that. So there's going to have to be something done with that, because he can't just let that go.
No, not at all. Yeah, especially if you end the crossover episode with that, it's going to come back into play at some point. Where it's going to be a vulnerability point for him.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But it'll keep him going to Central City a little more.
Yeah.
So,
true.
Because they hadn't hung out in a while, right?
True,
they were like, "That's new." Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the whole the making the tornadoes with his arms. He was like, "Oh, hey, you learned something new."
And the lightning, yeah.
And the lightning,
when he hit him with the lightning, that was I love that, man.
Yeah, when he was doing, I thought at first he was just like
containing his wings,
containing him, and then he stopped. Then he started winding up, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna suck."
Yeah, it's gonna be right across the jaw.
Yeah. So we get part 2.
Tonight.
Part 2 tonight.
Yeah, right.
So, and then next week on The Flash, we get Wally West.
I know what you're doing.
We'll be happy.
We'll
see how that works. So.
I'm going to try and call you so you can be
"Oh, I hate you." Don't do it. Have you watched any of Jessica Jones?
Yeah. I'm on episode 4 right now.
Yeah, I think I've watched 2, maybe 3. I just the one I just finished watching.
What are you up to now?
He just used like the bandsaw and like jammed it into a stomach to show
that
nothing's gonna hurt him.
Yeah.
Which you ruined a perfectly good saw.
But those abs were amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the abs of steel, literally.
So this show's been getting mixed reviews. I've seen some friends just completely just say, "Wow, I love it. It's amazing." And then some people just say, "This is so boring."
It's different. It is definitely
Totally
it's not Daredevil.
No.
And you have to understand that going into it. But it is I love it. Because
Me too.
it's a noir feel to it.
Exactly. That's a great term. Yeah, it's exactly noir.
Yeah, and introducing her, who she obviously has powers, but she is very reluctant to use them because things have went by. And I think we'll get into more of that as we go through. How many episodes is it? Do you remember?
8 or 9, I think it is. Or yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's plenty. It's really nice. But there's so much sexy sex.
Oh yes, it's not for kids.
It is not. No,
it's not for kids. It was a little.
That bandsaw or that scroll saw or whatever that is, skill saw, whatever it was that he burned down. It was like meow, 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 for her. I mean, she jumped right in. I mean, but that's cool. I mean, it's like, I like that there's now a relationship. It's probably going to be shaken at times and stuff. I liked how he said like, well, you might not have heard this yet, but she says, "Yeah, I used to be a superhero."
Oh no, I haven't got to that part.
Okay.
Yet.
So they talk about that. It's just funny, interesting to hear them sort of reflect on it.
And actually, Chuck Charles and I were talking about this, and he was saying that in this world where all this is, people are coming out with powers, and you've had the Avengers, and you're living in New York that is rebuilding from an alien attack. How is everybody so surprised that there's people with powers? And the way I look at it is there's not a huge amount of people. And even if you see it on TV and you know that this is going on, it's a whole different situation when you're sitting talking to somebody and they say, I got powers.
Yeah, I mean, a couple people have said, you're one of them, right? Like, I remember one time, like, somebody caught her doing something and said something to her, and she was like, they looked at her like, oh, you know. Yeah. And they knew.
Like, in the X-Men movies, they did that in the first couple X-Men movies. It was like, you're one of them.
But mutant.
Yeah,
mutant. To set up that whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, they should think about that a little bit better, right? Because that's supposed to be woven in. The Avengers, MCU, MTU. To be all in one space. But I really like this Kilgrave
character. David Tennant.
I'm scared of him.
Oh, it's awesome. It's so awesome. And
when he calls into that show, whatever her name is, Tori or Tara.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that part. The last one I saw, she was training. She was training Krav Maga. So she knows something's coming, and so she's preparing herself to be able to protect herself. So I haven't heard him call in yet. The last saw, I haven't seen him yet.
What's that lady's name? Who was she too?
It's Tess something.
She's Jessica's.
She's her best friend.
Okay.
I forget now what her name is, but I never read Jessica Jones.
I read just the one comic that
they released.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly who she is, whether she used to be somebody but the alias has some meaning to them.
They apparently, I guess, got into it together, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, that starts to come out.
She said that she called it Alias Investigations, and that meant something to the two of them.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah, it must.
So, I mean, I'm sure we'll get that full backstory. But
and the lawyer, that female lawyer, is that Trinity from The Matrix?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yep. She played that role really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got high hopes. I think it's going to be a really good show.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting through it little by little.
I'm looking forward to the Luke Cage show, Iron Fist show, which is still coming. And then I don't know if we're going to get Daredevil Season 2 before we get the Defenders or not.
That'd be interesting.
I can't wait for Daredevil Season 2. 'Cause I just want to see the Punisher. It's going to be... I'll be going crazy. So, nice. From Gotham, Michael, I know I'm behind in the show, but Michael Bowen has been cast as Patrick Matches Malone.
Oh, Matches Malone.
Matches Malone is a name that Bruce Wayne uses when he
his
infiltrates.
Alias, right, to gangster.
It was actually a kind of a low-level gangster. When he died, he covered up the fact that he died and uses that when he needs to go undercover.
Nice.
So how I guess this is going to be the original.
Yeah, that then Bruce will
and he's supposed to be a little older too. The guy Michael Bowen played Uncle Jack on Breaking Bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's not that old.
No.
So
but he's I
guess he could play. Well, he could play somebody who's old enough to
that in 25 years might
still be a known name.
Yeah.
When he could still come in and replace him.
Yeah.
So, which I still I saw that he played Uncle Jack, so I had to look up Breaking Bad because that didn't immediately ring a bell with me on Breaking Bad. But it was I don't remember the kid's name that they brought in that Jesse called a dead-eyed Opie. The guy that ended up that was he got his Uncle Jack in, and then he ended up taking over the whole operation.
Right.
And then he had to use the gun in the trunk to take them all out. It's on the last.
All right.
episode.
Yeah, you don't really remember, do you?
Well, yeah, I just didn't remember who it was, but so I had to look it up and see who it was. But they also released a picture of Victor Freeze,
which looks great.
He looks a lot like Captain Cold.
He really does. I know. Because he's got the thin, thin little
thin goggles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they also cast Lori Petty as Jerry, just no last name, just Jerry, the flamboyant and enigmatic hostess of an underground club where mass murder and art are celebrated in equal measure.
Wow.
That's a place right there.
That is. Is there a cover charge?
Which I think Lori Petty's perfect for something like that.
Who is Lori Petty?
Tank Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
She's weird and
yes,
quirky and
yeah.
Yeah.
She could nail that. So that'll be interesting. I've just got to catch up on the show. So
Nice.
and producer / screenwriter Simon Kinberg has said that Hugh Jackman is adamant that the script for the new Wolverine movie is in pristine shape before they start shooting. The way he's looking at it, this is his last run. So he wants it to be
Perfect. Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. So he's going to make sure that everything is in exactly the right place.
Well, let's hope he doesn't micromanage it to death. You know.
I know, hopefully he won't, but I think he's just going to insist that everything is in proper
Resolved.
place. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and the Captain America Civil War trailer debuted.
That was incredible.
That was and it's all Bucky's fault.
That was some kung fu fighting.
Civil War is Bucky's fault.
It's Bucky's fault.
Yeah, but
Is it really or no?
Well, I mean, kind
Are they
of
making it that way?
because it looks like from the trailer that he's defending Bucky, and that's what starts it. It's like, I can't let you take him in. He's my friend.
Well, Bucky's got the dark past. I mean, you open him up, and then it's like, whoa. So I think it's just he's trying to save Bucky's mind.
Exactly. Yeah, and it seems like he's there, and he's coming back because he asked him something, and like he remembers something that his mom used to do or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's back. He remembers who he is.
And they made a joke about like being from the past. And,
Yeah.
like, something was out of place for them. I forget what that was. But it was
I
like
can't
a
remember.
little
I have
funny
to watch
moment.
it again. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's the two of them fighting together. You see that it's like I mean, it was just hand in glove, no pun intended. It was like the two of them working together is just awesome.
But I mean, for that both of them to have to take on Tony like that,
Yeah.
Tony's beefed up. I mean, Tony was not awesome. He just was armored, you know. And now he's really, I mean, his kicks are rocket powered. I mean, it's like he's figured out.
He has figured everything out and made it into a weapon.
Yeah.
Nothing but a weapon.
That's it.
But I think one of the best because it always comes down to emotion. And that last scene where Cap says, like, Bucky's down and he's like, I can't let you take him. He's my friend. And it cuts to inside the helmet and Tony says, so was I. And it hits you right in the feels. It's
the feels.
Yes, the feels. It shows the emotion that's in there. It's like, okay,
so that riff's going to be deep. I mean, we're going to see that really on. That's.
Yeah,
how are they going to set that up?
Yeah, they all. I mean,
This is the next movie, right?
Yeah, they always kind of had a differing opinion, way they go about stuff, and so this is just like pushing it over the top.
Okay,
And
so
something like that. Yeah, something like that. Because Captain America is one of the most loyal people ever.
Right.
If you're his friend, he will protect you. And that's just period. That's it. And so, and especially Bucky.
Yeah, that was his boy. I mean, remember how Bucky was
protected him.
Bucky protected him.
Yeah.
When Steve was not much of anything.
Yeah, and so that's his brother. And so it's God, I can't wait for it. It looks like an incredible movie.
Just when I thought they kind of ran out of gas on Cap. This is cool.
Yeah. And they're looking at this as a separate trilogy.
The Cap series.
Yeah, the Cap series is a separate trilogy.
Yeah, it seems like they all the first movies did an origin. The second movies did a little bit of cross connection.
Yeah.
And then the third movies maybe diverge again now that we have Avengers sort of it's taking the big steps with the
this is
teams.
basically going to be like a Avengers 2.5. because there's so many people. We got to see the first live action Black Panther in the trailer.
Oh man,
no Spider-Man.
Batman looks great. I mean, Black Panther looks great.
He did kind of have the.
He really
look.
did. He really did. The ears.
Yeah, it almost looked like Asbat.
Yeah,
because it had the Azrael Batman had the closed cowl.
Right.
So it did really look like that.
He looks good though. I'm glad they're going to make Black Panther really crazy, brooding and dark. But yeah, we didn't see Spider-Man.
Nope.
But wasn't there? Tell me if this is true. But I heard some sort of rumor saying something about how Cap and Iron Man will be in the Spider-Man movie, or is that completely?
I think that's just the
off
rumor.
base. Okay.
Because
I heard someone said they let it slip. I was reading.
I think somebody. Yeah.
It was Robert Downey Jr.
He was talking about they were shooting something in Atlanta, and it was kind of. He said something, and then people were going, "Well, if they're shooting in Atlanta, this is shooting in the UK, so that can't be it." And it's like,
is that one of those conspiracy?
And it may pan out, it might not.
Okay.
It's Robert Downey Jr. He could have just been jerking everybody around.
That's true.
He does that.
And then we're like, oh, and then he's like, psych, Back to School 2 is coming out.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it be? Jason!
Yeah.
Jason!
Well, we got no...
You told me you were a diver.
We got no Rodney Dangerfield, so we can't do that.
Oh.
So...
Well, they named the school after him. The Thornton Mellon
That's right.
School of Management and Witchcraft.
No Rodney Dangerfield, no Sam Kinison. We can't do that movie.
Oh, man. Or Lou, right? That was...
he's Paul Sorvino?
Yeah, he was... No,
Is he
Paul
still alive?
Sorvino's... Is that Paul Sorvino? Or was he the guy on The Sopranos? Because that's...
Big Paulie.
Paulie, yeah, right.
Yeah.
From Rocky.
Yeah.
He was... he played Lou, and then...
Paul Sorvino is the guy from...
He's from Sopranos and
Goodfellas.
Dick Tracy
and every mob movie ever made.
Ever, yeah. Yeah. My favorite line of his and Dick Tracy is, "Let him have it!" And then they just shoot the Tommy machine guns.
Let's see, that was Burt Young.
Very young. Yeah, I think you got your Paulies mixed up.
Yeah.
There.
It's Paulie this, Paulie that. It's it's either Peter or Paul, one or the other. That's from Goodfellas too. So
That really is. Yeah.
And did you watch Supergirl this week?
I just got an antenna, so Chris.
So you haven't watched it yet.
Yep,
Okay.
he's proud of me now. So no, I haven't had a chance because it's like I got to watch it when it's on.
This was Red Tornado week.
Cool.
So
I saw she cracked him in the face.
yeah, both Chris Carpenter and Chuck have called going, did you watch it? I want to talk about it. So it's really good.
So they're itching. Okay.
This is directly from Carpenter. She got her rage on.
Ooh.
So I don't know. And you did see in the trailer for the episode, you saw her scream at Kat and just say, "Don't talk to me that way."
Ooh.
So it's almost out of character for her. So is this like a red kryptonite thing where she's being controlled by something? So it'll be interesting to see just her interacting with Red Tornado. I think is going to be cool.
Well, I'm trying to think. Does Tio Morrow have any mind control powers?
I don't think so.
No, I mean
he's just like a mad scientist kind of.
That's
deal.
it. Yeah, just a generic.
But
mad
maybe
scientist.
Red Tornado does. You
Could
never
be.
know.
Yeah, maybe he's got because they did open him up and put something just randomly in him that's supposed to work in the comic.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So you never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got to watch it. But Emma came home with a crap load of homework Monday night. So she was taking care of that. And I was like, okay, we have to wait for her. And then it was 11 o'clock. So it was like, all right, we're all going to bed.
Damn.
So so we have and then last night ain't nothing happening but Flash in our house.
I'm just talking about Flash.
I'm just talking about Flash.
Yeah.
So so I need to catch up with that. And they have also they've received a full season order now from CBS.
Perfect.
Which is it's awesome. And they are casting for a teenaged Kal-El.
Ooh.
So I guess that will be
Superboy?
I don't know if it'll be Superboy or whether when she first arrives. But he was full on Superman when she arrived. Maybe. Or maybe not. They didn't really say that.
Yeah. Have they not alluded to it in the show? Or don't you see him fly by?
You see she says when she got here he was already here.
Yeah.
And all you see is a blurry figure holding out his hand to her. That could be Superboy.
Could be. Yeah, maybe they just did that scene with, the camera guy, and then
Yeah.
Could
be.
They're like, "Hey, Larry, come here. Put down
come over here.
the thing. Come here. Be Superman."
Put the Vaseline gauze on the cameras.
Is that-
So I don't know how they're going to do it, but they are casting for that now.
Sweet.
And this past weekend, there was a rumor, like right around Thanksgiving and the weekend, there was this big rumor running around that they were going to cross over Flash and Supergirl because Greg Berlanti runs both shows.
Oh,
so
clearly a rumor.
He shot it down.
Yeah.
He just said, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
not with this big crossover.
Exactly. It got already crossover enough. But the thing is, I think the networks would do it because they're actually owned by the same people.
Yeah.
But I think if you cross over to Supergirl, you're not just bringing in Supergirl.
Yeah.
You're bringing in Superman.
Yeah.
And they've never referenced Superman
on any of the
Arrow
shows
or Flash
at all.
So
I've heard Cisco say like, "Oh wow, a real Superman."
Yeah, they've made little backwards comments like that.
Right, but it's not been like, "Oh well, not the Superman." So
yeah.
Oh man, that'd be interesting. Let's see, maybe it will because I have seen like pictures of the Supergirl actor and Grant Gustin posing.
They do that stuff because they're produced by the same company, basically.
Right.
But
like, yeah, I mean, I wonder. I mean, if that's in the cards, but I don't know. They may cross over here unless they do a crisis show.
We have to call it Super Legends of Flera
tomorrow.
Yeah. That would just be too much. Sorry.
Of two worlds.
Now, The Walking Dead had their mid-season finale this past week.
Yes.
Neither one of us have watched it yet.
I watched like the first 3 seconds of it, and then I was like, I'll watch
the wall
Flash.
come crashing down, and
right. That's what's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Is that's going to happen?
Well, yeah, it just crashed at the end of the last episode.
Right.
The tower came down and broke down
and
the wall.
Just busted the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because they kept showing the wood falling every so often.
Yeah. And Robert Kirkman on The Talking Dead after it said, when he was asked about I guess you call it the mid-season premiere now, he said, and I quote, "So many people die."
Oh, oh man.
And you had there was what they called a prologue that actually aired 10 minutes into the Badlands.
Oh.
After the episode was over. So it'll be interesting to see if we get to see it online.
Yeah, I watched last week's episode on, and then it was like I was like, wow, this is a really long episode, but it had that into the Badlands, it led into it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, like 10 minutes into the Badlands.
Yeah.
They had an extra little bit
from Walking Dead.
For Walking Dead.
That makes sense why they bundled them.
And
what happened?
You get the first mention of Negan.
Oh.
Sasha and Abraham run across some bikers, and one of them says, that those guns, the ammo in the guns, the streets you're walking on, the air that you're breathing, that all belongs to Negan.
Wow.
So you get the first name drop.
Damn.
Of Negan.
So was it not the guy that we saw with the who was it? Was it Glenn? Oh no, Daryl could see through the trees.
I don't know if that was actually him or that was some of his guys.
Could have been a lieutenant.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's the thing. He's got several. Actually, one of his lieutenants is named Dwight. So the guy that was with Daryl was named Dwight, but it obviously wasn't him because Dwight in Negan's group has half of his face burned.
Oh.
It was burned by Negan to keep him in line. I'm telling you, this is one bad dude.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember Dwight's whole story. Negan basically decided that he wanted his woman and burned half of his face until he said, "Okay, now I'm gonna let you up, but I'm taking your woman, and this is just gonna remind you of who's in charge.
Damn.
Yeah, this dude, I'm telling you, he makes the governor.
I almost don't want to see this.
He makes the governor look like your granny. I mean,
yeah, right. But meanwhile, like they've given Rick the opportunity to become that, like where he can sort of has the choice to become this like evil.
He can become the governor.
Yeah,
or
right.
Not.
Or not,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So we got to catch up, and also I saw today in the mid-season finale, which we haven't watched yet, because if I'd have seen it, I went crazy.
Yeah.
Robert Kirkman is also the writer of Invincible, one of my favorite comics.
Right.
In the episode, there's these little mini figurines that were San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. They look like Lego figures.
Oh, like
from Invincible.
So a little reference there.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So they had like I don't know who had them, or I saw a picture. They looked like they were on like a table or a mantelpiece or
somewhere.
Like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere in a house. So
it might have been because the episode starts off with the blonde lady that Rick likes. Mm-hmm. Her son is upstairs, and he's like eating a sandwich and like bugs or.
I thought he was getting ready to cap Carl at the end of last week's we haven't seen, but the week before.
Yeah.
He had the gun. I thought we were going to get our one-eyed Carl. In the comics, Carl, basically in this time, at this point, he gets shot and loses an eye. So I think it was issue 100 when Negan is introduced.
You talking about the kid who is mad that Carl is like talking to his girlfriend and gets the gun from the armory?
And they had the slap fight out in the...
Yeah.
That was the worst fight.
It really was, yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, it's like pathetic. But no, this is the other kid, the one with the blonde hair, the younger kid.
Okay.
Who's been stuck up in his room.
That won't leave his room now.
Yeah, right. They start the episode off with him. So that was...
And he's the one that Carol told him that if he didn't mind his business, he'd be tied to a tree and eaten by zombies.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. That's so wrong. Agent of Carter, not Agent Carter, released a new promo for season 2. And she's now living in Hollywood, and she's got a tricked out car courtesy of Howard Stark.
Awesome. So this is going to be a real Bond.
Yes, and it has, not just Bond, but it's Stark too.
Because it's going to be zany.
Jarvis reaches in and says, you can hit this switch, and he hits the switch, and the glove compartment comes down, and it's chilled champagne. And he was like, so if you get dehydrated.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's Bond, but it's definitely got a little bit of Stark in it too.
Yeah, right. Playboy, yeah.
And the Aquaman movie, the rumored villain for that is
of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this isn't of course. It's Ocean Master, which is
Black Manta is either way. Right, but Ocean Master is
his half brother.
Right.
Yeah.
What was he connected? What's the they have the same mother?
Yes. No.
Same father. And then who's his mother? It's some...
No. His Arthur's father is human, so they have the same mother.
Okay.
And Orm looks at himself as the rightful heir
because he's fully Atlantean.
He's fully Atlantean, even though Arthur was born first, and technically he should be the king.
Right.
Yeah. So he looks at himself as he's the rightful heir. So, but that is. Again, it's like one of those. Well, yeah, of course it is. It's got to be him. So, and this is from the file. There is apparently a Rambo TV series in the works for Fox.
Oh, thanks. Like the Rambo cartoon in the 80s.
I don't know what. It's supposed to be called Rambo New Blood. And Sylvester Stallone is on board to executive produce.
Okay. I'm not
I don't. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't have words.
Colonel,
for that. I'm coming for you.
Coming for you.
Yeah. Coming for my Geritol.
Yeah. Geritol.
So, but that's our movie and TV news. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a spin of the comic rack.
You end on Rambo?
Yes. You have to end with Rambo.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
Just now, another kid dropped out of school. There's one every 20 seconds. Over 200 kids an hour. That adds up to nearly 5,000 kids every school day.
If we do nothing, 3.5 million kids won't receive a diploma over the next 4 years. But there is someone who can change that. And that someone is you. United Way knows that kids who have a caring adult in their life are more likely to make it. So make a pledge. Tutor a child who needs help. Mentor a kid who needs someone on their side. Volunteer to read to children. Because the path to success or failure starts long before graduation day. And the difference between a graduate and a dropout could be you. Take the pledge to volunteer now at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Andy Smith. I've worked on Thanos with Jim Starlin and Earth 2 for DC Comics. And you're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast, the only podcast with a kick.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. And now apparently it's time for my weekly shot to the pills.
That's right, Jimmy D. It is me, the Trivia Troll. Har har. Answer my questions one at a time. Answer my questions. Maybe they'll rhyme.
You're doing well.
Thank you.
You're like Etrigan, the demon.
Okay, Timmy D.
Yes.
If you would like to cross the bridge today, okay, the Force may be with you.
It may not.
Today is a Star Wars Day.
Okay.
Okay, so in lieu of our, I think we should just call it Star Wars Month. It's just
Yeah, we should.
Sorry, Jesus. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. So here's a nice question. This female human was one of the founders of the Rebel Alliance.
Mon Mothra?
Yeah. Mothma.
Mothma.
Yeah.
Mothra.
Mon Mothra. Mothra. Mothra.
She had it out with Godzilla.
She totally did. That would have been a much better movie.
That's the best Freudian slip I've ever done.
That's great. Okay, we're doing a follow-up today. What planet is she from?
Ooh. Is she Bothan? No. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. She's from Chandrilla.
I've never even heard of that one.
Well, you better look it up.
Yeah, I will.
It's on the map. All right. Emperor Senator Palpatine. Mm-hmm. What's his first name?
Oh, crap. I think I know this one. They said it in episode 1. I can't remember.
You have no idea.
They said it, but I can't remember.
Al. No,
it's not Al.
No,
Stop that.
It's Tim. Sheev.
Sheev.
Yeah, Sheev. Sheev Palpatine of Naboo. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right, so more Palpatine,
Maybe
more
not.
Palpatine questions, okay? Which apparently
he doesn't use moisturizer.
Horrible out. Yeah. All right, who was Palpatine's Sith master?
Plagueis.
Yeah, very nice. Yay.
Plagueis the Wise, as he called him.
There you go. Now, can you name all three of Palpatine or Darth Sidious's apprentices?
Apprentice. Darth Maul.
Yes.
Darth Tyrannus.
Mm-hmm.
And Darth Vader.
Very good. All right, good job.
And
you have redeemed yourself there.
I still say Darth Maul should have led right up to Vader. They should have just
Maul was a waste. I mean, he was so cool.
Yeah. Darth Maul was so awesome, and his death was completely unearned because it was like he had eaten their lunch when he was fighting two of them.
Right.
He was beating the hell out of them. Then he was fighting Obi-Wan and had pretty much beaten him, and then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, boop, I get cut in half.
Shazam.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not earned. And I thought it would have been perfect to have him as the apprentice that leads up to, and like Vader takes him out.
And Dooku was so weird.
It was, yeah. And you don't have to have. I mean, he could be an agent of Darth
Sith.
Sidious, just not an actual Sith Lord.
Right. I don't know. Well, anyway, you saved yourself there.
I did.
So let's see. You did. You got Mon Mothma. You didn't get Chandrilla. Mon Mothra. Yeah. You might just win.
I'm gonna
today
laugh
for
about that one.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I can't wait for God Solo. And then we did not get Palpatine's first name, which was Sheev.
Sheev.
Or Al.
It was Steve.
And then you got who was his master, right? Darth Plagueis the Wise. And then you got all the apprentices, right? So you are good.
I did well.
So today was a
Young Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Cool. All right, cool.
Very good, Timmy D.
Thank you.
You may cross my bridge.
Yeah. All right, now let's take a spin of the comic rack.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time for the comic rack. Hey, nice rack.
Knock it off, perv.
No, it's the latest news from the enormous world of comics. Right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, first thing in the comic rack this week, Dark Knight 3, The Master Race.
Which you have already, right?
I have, and I have read it, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. First off, the art is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, it looks beautiful.
Who's the main artist on it?
It's Brian Azzarello.
Azzarello? Yeah.
Brian Azzarello. And it captures the look of the
original.
The original. It catches the feel of it because you have the almost like the video wall kind of effect that he did in the original where he had the different.
Yeah, but now it's all HD and yeah.
And you start out with people texting.
Uh-huh.
You have like little, and it took me a second to get what the hell was going on.
What are they doing? Yeah.
And it was just random people. One person say, "I seen him," and the other guy's like, "Ain't nobody seen him in like 3 years. What are you talking about?" And so, and it starts out in the Batcave with the glass case with Batman's suit. And that's where the conversation is going. The text conversation is going. Nobody's seen him for 3 years, and you get the shot of the suit in a glass case, just like Jason's.
Yeah.
And then you don't see who does it or what, but the case is broken, and the suit's gone.
Ooh.
And then you see for the rest of the time, you see Batman attacking cops.
Uh-oh.
So
someone's taking it apparently.
And the text conversation turns to, "Hey, I hear he's on our side now," and so Batman's is taking out cops, and that's when you get the
so those are crooks who are criminals, villains who are communicating with each other.
And
interesting.
And you get the video wall of
like the news and the pundits,
and
I love all the great graphics.
And it's O'Reilly. It's O'Brien instead of O'Reilly.
Nice.
And it's Michael and Kelly Ripa, but they're not. Who is it? They call him Bonnie and I forget now what they called him.
But they parodied.
But they parodied it. Yeah, but it's definitely supposed to be Michael Strahan because he's got this giant gap in his teeth. And you got Jon Stewart. And then they reintroduce Wonder Woman, and it's been a long time since I read the second one, but in the second one they introduced children that Clark and Diana had.
Oh,
so you got, I guess, for lack of a better term, Supergirl. Her name was Lara.
Oh,
she.
This was in Dark Knight 2.
2, yeah, or
cool.
Strikes Back, or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
But she is also Wonder Woman is now she's fighting a Minotaur, and she has a baby or a toddler on her back in a papoose, and his name is Jonathan.
Oh,
so
Jonathan Kent.
I will assume, that's another. But Lara goes looking for her father. She finds him in the Fortress of Solitude, frozen. And apparently he's been there he basically went and let this happen to himself. Because she's like trying to figure out why he's done this.
Wow.
But you have an incredible
Whoa.
image of him frozen in ice.
In carbonite?
No,
What?
not carbonite, but
So what's the sort of general premise for Dark Knight 3 for the Master Race? What does that all mean?
They haven't really said. They haven't revealed that. But she is there, basically trying to get some kind of response from him, and she hears noises coming from Kandar,
the little bottled city.
the bottled city.
Oh.
So she takes that. That's where the Adam story goes. She goes to this is separate from you see that
Adam shrinks down to go to Kandar.
Yeah, you see that in the main part, but then she goes away and you don't see her again. Then in the Adam side story, she takes Kandar to them and because it basically says they need help.
Wow.
But you get to see, like I said, Batman fighting the cops. And then there's a big, huge swerve at the end, or not a swerve, but
a twist.
A twist, yeah, a definite twist that I'm not going to give away because it's something you need to read.
Awesome.
To get. But
how many issues are in this?
I think it's going to be 6.
Series.
But
okay.
I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
I think it's going to be 6. But this is a hell of a start. I know it's $6, so it's
a healthy comic, yeah.
It's a healthy comic, but it's got the mini comic in it,
right? Too.
Yeah, that's included with it. So, but the story itself is very good. It has a definite feel of the original.
Nice.
And it has the story has me hooked.
Cool.
Because you want to know
Batman.
It's Batman, but you also want to know what's going on and what's happened in this world.
And you've been frustrated with the bunny suit and things like that.
Oh yeah.
And Batman hasn't been sort of treated. This is a nice change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
and that's coming back. They're in the regular series. The solicitations that are coming for the months coming up. He's starting to come back. He's starting to have to deal with the fact of who he is what is showing up in the solicitation. So he obviously learns, because the Bruce Wayne that is in the comics right now doesn't know he was Batman.
Yeah, right. He works at the soup kitchen and sort of.
So that is obviously being revealed to him, and so he has to deal with that.
Wow.
So that's coming. We all knew it's a temporary thing, and he was going to come back from it. But so that's coming there. But still, I just didn't like the whole thing of throwing Gordon in a suit, and now Batman works for a corporation basically.
Is Batman Incorporated?
No,
or is this...
no. It's the Powers Corporation, which is the company that bought Wayne Tech.
Oh.
So. Yeah, it's going to be an instance where he comes back as Batman, and then they have to fight the sanctioned Batman.
Oh.
Because Jim Gordon's already pushing back against them, and they actually fired him a couple times, but he just they need him to do it.
Jim Gordon.
So yeah, I'm Jim Gordon. Shut up.
Yeah.
So, but it's a completely different Jim Gordon. That's another thing that he's now younger. He's in better shape. No glasses. Kind of like a mohawk-looking haircut. What? So it's not Commissioner Gordon. It's weird. It's
Conditioner Gordon.
Yeah, exactly. So
sorry, that's your joke.
It's it's okay. You can have it. It's almost like the Deathstroke series, where they've fundamentally changed the character.
Yeah.
So it's not really Deathstroke anymore. It's not really Commissioner Gordon anymore. So it's just weird, and the suit looks absolutely horrible.
Oh,
so
damn! And right, thank goodness for Dark Knight 3.
He even makes fun of it in the comic. He made fun of the bunny thing, with the ears. Okay, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. The Dark Knight 3: The Master Race is off to a really good start, and I'm really hopeful because the second one was not that good. So this one looks like it's kicking off to a really good start. So,
do you need to have read Dark Knight 2 to get Dark Knight 3? Would it help, or?
Well, not really, because they introduced the Supergirl in part 2, but they also explain it's easy to know where she comes from. She's their child.
Okay.
Because Wonder Woman asked where her daughter is and then the next you see is her in like a modified Supergirl outfit going to the Fortress of Solitude.
Nice.
So it explains and she's talking to her father, frozen in the ice.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's pretty clear.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in other words, I can
you don't necessarily
just borrow
have
it
to.
from you. All right.
Yeah, I might pick up the second one just to kind of refresh.
Oh, you don't have it?
No, I mean just pick it up and reread it. I do have it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just to kind of remind myself, because I know I think he included more of the Justice League in the second one.
They were missing.
Yeah,
right,
yeah, they weren't
first
really
one.
around.
No.
And Ollie implies that Clark sold them out and caused their downfall. So that's why Ollie was so pissed at him, and that's why he helped Clark. I mean, he helped Bruce take him down in the first one.
Yeah.
Because he had betrayed them. Although Oliver Queen in the comics is always like almost
lefty,
like
right,
it's like a radical.
Yeah.
So it was easy to get him pissed off in something. But Dark Knight 3 is definitely worth the pickup. I mean, I know it's like I said, it's $6, but it's a healthy comic. You get basically 2 comics because you get the little mini.
Yeah, the
Adam
Adam
story.
mini. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. It's like I want to read it bundled because like I read Dark Knight Returns, the first one in the bundle, 15 years after. So like I don't know. I think I'd want it that way.
Yeah.
I think I'll
and
do
it's nice. I
time
mean,
comes.
I just I know I didn't want to wait. That's the thing.
Yeah. And you're like, did you read it? And I'm like, sorry. But I made sure I looked at it because I know you'd ask.
Yes, yeah, there you go. But also something else that was released or announced this week. This one is very, very intriguing to me. This is going to be called Dark Knight, no K, it's Dark Knight, a true Batman story. DC has announced that Paul Dini, the producer of the legendary Batman the Animated Series in the 90s and writer of several runs of Batman and creator of Harley Quinn, will be doing a new Batman-centric comic for DC's Vertigo imprint called Dark Knight, a true Batman story. It'll be illustrated by Eduardo Rizzo, which is a cool name to say, based on a true-life traumatic event from his own past. In 1993, Denny was walking in Los Angeles one evening when 2 men approached him and mugged him. The attack was so bad, in fact, that parts of his head were shattered and parts of his skull powdered on impact, according to the doctors. He needed surgery, and the assault and eventual recovery left him severely traumatized to this day. Dark Knight is Denny's way of channeling that pain into art. Denny said, quote, "What makes Batman and what makes other superheroes work is the myth that when life is at its lowest and when you need a hero swings down and helps you. And I didn't have that. Here I am writing these stories for an audience that loves this form in comics and animation, but now I was saying to myself, I can't get on with this. I don't believe in it anymore. There's no hero for me. Where is my hero?" And the answer is you have to be your own hero. This will be a 121-page graphic novel, and the character of Batman and other Gotham City heroes and villains act as a kind of Greek chorus to Denny's own struggles after the mugging and comes out in June of 2016.
Wow, that sounds great.
That sounds really, really great.
What a
cannot
backstory
wait.
on Paul Dini.
I
Yeah.
never knew that story. I didn't realize that had happened to him.
Well, I mean, you don't like tell that to everybody, I'm sure.
I'm
but it's
sure,
like,
yeah.
What a great influence for a comic book story.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
yeah.
heroes in general.
And the cover of it that they released, he almost looks like Hush because his head
it's
is
all
wrapped in
up.
bandages,
Whoa.
and Joker's like hunched over him, like right on his shoulder, and you see a big shadowy Batman standing up behind him. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think this will be a really intriguing story to read.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's coming from a place like that of something horrible that happened to him, and in the business that he's in of creating heroes and that come and help people, and he had to deal with the fact that, okay, that's all just BS.
Well, I mean, you think about Batman became his own hero.
Yeah.
There was nobody protecting him. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
only now is Alfred a ninja,
Yeah, that's right.
right? But it was forever that it was just he became himself. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That should be really cool.
I can't wait to borrow it from you.
Yes. And DC has also released a preview of Batman Beyond number 7, which comes out today, where Tim has now defeated Brother Eye, that was the ongoing villain for the Terry McGinnis Batman Beyond. Tim has defeated Brother Eye, and he's gone now. But now he's looking at the future as like, okay, I'm a man out of my own time period, and now I don't have a mission. Because when he got there, it's like he immediately had to take over for Terry because Terry was killed, and he had to go fight this bad guy. Now that's gone. So he's left wondering what he's going to do.
Wow.
And he actually starts digging in and realizes that the Gotham City that is this new Gotham City is as dark as ever.
Yeah.
So that'll be his mission. So
cool. And that comes out today?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
And Stan Lee, believe it or not, makes a somewhat cameo in Superman 46. I think that was out last week. I think.
How'd that happen?
He's in a Employee of the Month sign in Big Belly Burger. It's very weird. It's just kind of random. It's just like in the background you can see the character. Somebody's there at Big Belly Burger ordering burgers, and over his shoulder you can see like on the bulletin board, and it's obviously a caricature of Stan. And,
it is.
And he's wearing a name tag that says Stan.
It says Stan. Yeah, Employee of the Month.
So,
oh, man. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's very odd, but there.
My dad's name is Stan. That looks like him, too.
Oh, well.
So I think once you get past a certain age.
Is your dad Stan Lee?
Well, his name is Stan Lee.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, no, he's Stanley Silverberg. So, yeah, that's kind of a weird... I mean, he does cameos all the time in Marvel movies, but who would expect him in a Superman comic? Yeah, I don't know if he's getting paid for that
Probably
appearance.
not.
Yeah.
And Boom Studios will release Uncle Grandpa and the Time Casserole coming in March.
Awesome.
It's based on the fan favorite Cartoon Network series Uncle Grandpa. Have you watched that?
Oh, it's hilarious.
I've seen just little bits of it.
Oh, it's great. It's so great. And then... the comic is funny too.
Okay,
we get the comic at home. It's just Uncle Grandpa is just so. It's like Ren and Stimpy.
It does the looks of that what they've released of the artwork. It definitely has a Ren and Stimpy look to the artwork.
But Ren and Stimpy was like manic.
Yes.
Uncle Grandpa is like, it's kind of acidy. Like it's a little more trippy and melty and
the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, like Uncle Grandpa's a very strange character, and he wears like a fanny pack that has everything in it. Like it's it's like the ever never-ending inventory.
No matter what you say, kids, fanny packs are not cool. And I know plenty of people that wear them, and I have this argument with them all the time. It's like a wrestling
Why do they
thing.
call them fanny packs when you don't wear them on your fanny?
You wear them on the front.
Fronty packs. Or, I don't know. There's some other names. Package packs.
But
moving along,
some of the comics coming out today from DC: Action Comics number 47, All Star Section 8 number 6, Batman and Robin Eternal number 9, Batman Beyond number 7, like we were talking about earlier, Cyborg number 5, Robin War 100-page Super Spectacular
number 1,
and Titans Hunt 100-page Super Spectacular number 1. Now I'm not quite sure what those are. Because Titan Hunt has been like in issue 2. It's been ongoing.
Maybe it's an annual.
And Robin War, I don't think has started yet.
It's supposed to come out today.
It's supposed to start today.
Robin's Wars number 1 starts today.
Cool.
There's a bunch of variants for it and everything. And
okay, cool. So it does come out today. I've got it a little farther down in the list. So I'm not sure what exactly those are. But it's 100-page spectacular.
Yeah, maybe they're annual type things, or
maybe
king size, giant size.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So also Gotham Academy number 12, which I think is the last issue of that because it was canceled.
Yeah,
I think it's done.
It's a shame.
Gotham by Midnight number 11, which is next to last for it.
Oh.
Green Lantern number 47, Harley's Little Black Book number 1, which I believe that is a team up book, and her first team up is Wonder Woman.
Oh, damn.
So that should be interesting. Lobo number 13, which again should be close to the last one for it. Midnighter number 7, Prez number 6, Robin War number 1, Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman number 17, Sheriff of Babylon number 1, Survivors Club number 3, Teen Titans number 14, Unfollow number 2. And then from Marvel, All New, All Different, Avengers number 2, All New Inhumans number 1, All New X-Men number 1, Daredevil number 1, Doctor Strange number 3, Vision number 2, Extraordinary X-Men number 3, Guardians of Infinity number 1. Not sure what that series is. It's a little different. Instead of Guardians of the Galaxy.
It sounds like it. It's kind of
obviously has to do with Infinity Stones. Howard the Duck number 2, Invincible Iron Man number 4, which I believe is the one where they introduced Mary Jane. And that's been a good series. I read the 2 and 3 over the past couple of days, and it's he's fighting Madame Mask, which will actually be the villain in Agent Carter.
Oh, cool.
And they have history together. So he has to
Drama.
deal with that. Yeah.
Yep.
And he has to go ask Doctor Strange for help.
Oh.
And he keeps calling them awesome facial hair bros.
Because they both have the template.
The goatee, yeah. Like he gets the information he needs from Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is like, okay, I have other stuff I need to do. And Iron Man puts up like the high five, and he won't look at him. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. Come on, awesome facial hair bros. And he won't leave until he gives him high five. It's so weird, but it's really funny. So, but also, Nova number 2 is out. Red Wolf number 1, which is one we were talking about weeks ago, the Native American.
1872, yeah. A spin-off guy, yep.
Yeah. Spidey number 1, which is an all-ages Spider-Man.
Oh, cool.
Set with him back in high school.
Nice.
Star Wars number 13, Totally Awesome Hulk number 1. I'm looking forward to that one.
Nice. Yeah, I think the Star Wars is the Vader Down.
The Vader Down
3.
crossover. It's
3?
Yeah, it's part 3.
4.
Yeah, it was Vader Down was the first part.
Darth Vader 13 was
13
2.
was 2.
And this
would be 3.
Cool.
And the last, at the end of Darth Vader number 13, he's on a rebel planet surrounded by troops. And they're like, holy crap, it's Darth Vader. This is our shot.
Oh.
And he goes, drop your weapons right now and surrender. That's badass right there. It was basically like legions and legions of troop and him by himself. And he tells them to surrender.
I mean, he could take them out.
He probably
he really could. I mean, I'd love to see him flip around.
Badass.
That is really bad. I hope they bundle all this. I really want to read this series. It's just
I'm sure
when I look at it, it's Star Wars is already well into its series.
Yeah.
Vader is 2 now.
Yeah.
But
if anything, I would say, Vader has been, Star Wars has been good, but the Vader series has been over the top great.
Yeah, you've said that there's been some great moments, like with that
absolutely.
That investigator who he follows him.
Yep.
I saw a picture of that where the guy kind of like looks at him like, and he's a kind of a big dude with leather gloves and
and he's bald, but he has like the big mutton chops and the
And then Vader's just like whatever.
Yeah. It's been pretty fun, but like seeing if Vader can keep ahead of him and not the guy can't figure out what's going on. But he apparently doesn't suspect anything with him. It's just Vader happens to kill people that he needs to talk to right before he gets to talk to them.
Yeah.
But you never know. Vader may be helping that along with a little Jedi
mind trick. Yeah. Is there a Sith mind trick, or what would we call
he
that?
was a Jedi, so he knows.
He knows how to do it.
Knows how to do that. So
he does.
But also coming up from Image today, Blackjack Ketchum number 1, Black Science number 18, Citizen Jack number 2, Dark Corridor number 5, East of West number 22, and Humans number 10, and Paper Girls number 3. I can't remember if I read Paper Girls 2. I remember reading the first one and enjoyed it.
That's like the rock band, right?
No, Paper Girls it's almost like the movie with the kids that were making a movie and they run across aliens.
Oh right, yeah, that was Super 8.
Super 8.
Yeah, which you said 8
So,
millimeter.
yeah, exactly. That's why I didn't say what it was, because that was what I was thinking again. So yeah, I don't remember if I read number 2, but the first issue was pretty good.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to that. And the Totally Awesome Hulk out today. I'm looking forward to that's where Amadeus Cho
takes
is
over
the Hulk
as the Hulk
instead of Bruce Banner. So that'll be interesting if Banner's still around, and Amadeus Cho is just the star of this book, or
he's holding the mantle for a little bit type thing.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. But I don't think it'll last for long. I think Bruce Banner will be back as the Hulk. But I mean, because there for a while we had 4 different Hulks.
Red Hulk.
We had Red Hulk. We had She-Hulk, of course. Mm-hmm. Then Banner as the Hulk. And then we had a couple other Hulk creatures. They didn't have their own book.
Gray Hulk back in the 90s, I remember.
Yeah, well, that was still him, though. That was the variation of him. It was...
didn't they, like, miscolor it? And then they were like...
Well, yeah, the original issue, the first Incredible Hulk #1, he was gray. But it didn't come over that well in the comic. Like, the color didn't show very well. So they changed it to green.
Yeah.
But then in the 90s, they introduced a gray-skinned Hulk that wasn't as strong as the green, and he had like the full use of his mental. Like he wasn't as smart as Bruce Banner, but he had attitude. He had a little more attitude.
Okay.
And he went to Las Vegas and was running a casino under the name Joe Fixit.
I'm sorry I asked.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it did give us one of the best covers. I don't remember who did the cover, but it's a shot of the Hulk as Joe Fixit in like the suit and the whole like looking like a mafia dude, and then Wolverine also in a suit and like he's leaning on.
Oh my
Hulk's,
God! I gotta see this.
Yeah,
where is this?
I don't remember the issue, but it was Hulk, Wolverine, Joe Fixit.
Oh yeah,
there he is. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's not the cover. Like I said, it's just him, Wolverine leaning on his on him. But yeah, that was his outfit.
Oh my God. You spent money on this? Oh, here we
go.
Yeah, look at that.
That's it's a Wolverine.
Oh wow, Wolverine with the eye patch.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think that was the limited series.
That's special.
That looks like McFarlane.
Yeah, it's got the look.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an awesome cover though, because he's kind of like leaning on him, and he doesn't even come up to his elbow.
Yeah,
it was the best. So, that was one of my favorite scenes in Infinity Gauntlet.
Was what?
They're gotten all the heroes together. They're in Avengers Mansion, and they're talking about what they're going to do. And Cap goes to say something to Hulk. And he's like, "Okay, where'd the Hulk go?" I think he went up to the roof. And somebody else goes, "Oh God, Wolverine's up there." And it's like everybody goes, "Oh geez," but they're just sitting up there talking.
And everybody thought they were going to scrap.
Everybody thought they were going to be beating the crap out of each other.
Well,
but
they have forever.
Yeah, they have forever, exactly. So, but yeah, just everybody kind of together went, "Oh God," because they're up there together. So,
yeah.
But that is a look at our comic rack. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to explore the multiverse with the second crisis.
Oh, man, get ready.
Animal Man.
Get ready. I'm an animal man.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper cars, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is the reclusive one, better known as Michael Golden, the guy who co-created Rogue, the Nom, Micronauts, Bucky O'Hare, Spartan X, and many, many more. You are listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Pay attention!
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast, where you have to pay attention.
You do. And pay attention to this, because this weekend, Tim. We're very excited because Sunday is Charlotte Comic-Con comic and toy show.
Oh, yes.
There's going to be tons of little koi fish everywhere.
That'd be awesome.
And, cosplay is going to be off the chain.
Oh, yeah, it always is.
But yeah, I'll have a table in the artists' row there, I suppose, in the middle of the comic.
Jam-packed artist room.
The artists' crevice. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever.
they really have almost outgrown the hotel.
They're so ready. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was last time I had a table in the cosplay room, and you were in the artist room, which was I went over there once to see you, and it was like elbow to elbow sardines the whole way.
It was crazy. Yeah. And then when things let out, like panels and stuff, it was rush.
Oh, it was even worse.
Moving and everything.
And the toy room was even more jammed than the artist room.
Oh.
And the air conditioning went off in there.
Yeah, that's right.
It was
stinky.
It was stinky.
You got some nerd Roma.
Absolutely.
Flying through the air. I mean, it was just. But just a quick rundown of stuff. So Saturday, December 5th. This is going to be at the Crown Plaza Executive Park Hotel, Westgate Drive, right off Exit 5 of 77, I-77 Tybola Road. So it starts at 10, goes till 4. But on Saturday night, December 5th, there's a pre-show event, Charlotte Comic-Con Mixer and Karaoke Party at Lucky Lou's Tavern, which is close to here.
Yep.
5124 Park Road in Charlotte, and 9 p.m. until ... This is a 21 and over mixer.
Yes.
So, sorry, kids.
You're drinking.
Yes. But then Sunday is the big day of the show, the winter show. So there's a comic and toy room, which we mentioned, the cosplay room, both open at 10 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year there was family reunion.
Early in this year, they had a little scheduling snafu for the cosplay room. There was a family reunion going on, and they were having breakfast in there.
There's people dressed up as a family in there.
Yes, they were very convincing costumes as family members. And so, like, when I got there to set up the table, like, Grandma and Aunt Gert were still sitting at the table talking.
I'm having my coffee.
So it was like, I got stuff to set up.
That's right.
Can you keep talking?
I'm gonna go to the car. Yeah.
So
here's the Ninja Troll card.
There you go.
And there'll be the big cosplay costume contest.
Mm-hmm.
The rules page is as long as the events page this year, just because of everything that's gone on.
The kid last time who basically got kicked out of the contest because he bought his instead of made it.
Yeah, and he had like some guns and stuff, and all
they don't like having guns.
No.
So
and so there's going to be a lot of great cosplay stuff. They're really kind of pushing that up this year. There's going to be a cosplay panel featuring Khalees cosplay, Matilda Kane cosplay, Amber Lee Leanna cosplay, and Dingbat cosplay. That'll be at 3 p.m. Following the cosplay awards. So there's actually going to be a whole discussion just on that.
That's cool.
Which is great.
Cool.
But the panels are exciting this year.
Yeah. I was looking at the panels. It looks like a lot of fun.
There's 3 good ones.
Yeah.
Like last show, Sketch Charlotte, we did one, and it's still well attended. And I was like, wow, we're just a little group, so this is cool. But 10:45 to 11:45, we have Batman at 50. Nice. A look back at the 1966 Batman series and salute to Yvonne Craig, right, who we lost this year.
Who passed away, yeah.
With writer Dan Johnson, artist Al Bigley, and superfan Dean Costner.
That's cool. Al Bigley's going to be in there. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
From 12 to 1, we have Star Wars Within a Galaxy Far, Far Away.
That's the 501st.
That's 501st. Okay, so Thomas Gardner and friends?
Yep.
Awesome.
That'll be the 501st, yeah.
Perfect. So they're going to do a panel talking about what they do.
Yep.
Wow, so 2 cosplay panels, legitimately.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Which I don't know how much that'll be about cosplay and how much it'll be about
Star Wars.
Just in Star Wars in general. Yeah,
totally.
So,
and then last, our buddy Andy Smith and Bud Root.
Nice.
They're going to be drawing superheroes, superheroines, and super monsters from 1:15 to 2:15.
Cool. So they're actually doing live drawing?
I suppose. Yeah, they're going to do a demo, and I might step out and do that.
Yeah, no kidding. That'd be cool. Yeah. So awesome. I don't have a table this time. I'm actually coming as a consumer. I'm bringing my daughter, and we're gonna go to the con.
Awesome.
So
that sounds great.
Yeah.
If you were just coming along, I was going to call security on you.
Get this guy.
Just for fun. And I was going to tape it.
Listen, if you kick all the lonely single guys out of there, it'd be a really thin place.
Hey, you're talking about our income.
We love
our
them.
revenue. Our
We
revenue.
love them.
And tickets are $5. So
Yeah, you can't beat that right there.
No, that's a great show, and we love Rick and Dave who put on the whole thing. I mean, they do a great job, very well organized. They
absolutely
take care of us.
Yeah, and it's always. I mean, Heroes Con is great. It's a huge thing, and it's all weekend. But this is it's a couple hours, like 6 hours, and it's not as much of a commitment as like Heroes Con.
I mean, Heroes Con is like you got to sit down.
Yeah,
you got to take it easy.
Yeah, you want to get the most out of it. It's a commitment. You have to put in time. This is one thing that hits. You hit it real quick. It's just a couple hours or 6 hours, but it's so great. It's a lot of fun, and it's right before Christmas, so there's a lot of stuff you can get for anybody who's a comic book fan. That toy room is nuts.
Oh, I'm gonna rage in there. Yeah, I'm gonna figure up this go around.
Yeah.
But just there's a nice list of artists. Jump on charlottecomiccon.com. You'll see Andy Smith is there. Mm-hmm. My buddy Brandon Paget, Bridget Connell, who's an up and coming name. We got Herc Petmazis, who's the founder and our fearless leader of Sketch Charlotte. He's an incredible artist as well. He was our Inktober hero, man. Every day he did a great drawing. Greg Bill Watson, who is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really some sexy ladies he draws. My absolute hero, John Hairston Jr., cool. My fellow member of the tribe, John Rosenbaum, he's going to be there. Man, he's got the funniest thing. Folks, if you go on Facebook, look up Jonathan Rosenbaum. He's a Maja Nation, M-A-J-A Nation. And he did this one that said it was like a Hanukkah solo and Chewbacca. And when I tell you that there's like a Millennium Falcon half with the candles.
With the menorah.
Absolutely hilarious.
Menorah Falcon.
Menorah Falcon. You can't beat that, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then a bunch of other folks. Rico Renzi, we'll see there. And it's just going to be a great show. I mean, it's got a lot of hometown feel to it and everything. And everybody's really friendly, and it's going to be a good time. It's my second show, so I'm excited.
And the cosplay is really, really fun. So you can dress up and you can come out as your favorite hero, and it's cool. I mean, even if we talked about the kid who wasn't really allowed in the contest because he bought more of his stuff than they really liked, and I'm not sure where the happy medium is there for that, because you can't make everything.
No, and they encourage you to. It's like that sort of, but I don't know. I think it's showing that it's getting to a higher level.
Yeah.
And that maybe contests need to rethink their strategy.
Yeah.
About how it goes.
But yeah, you can. I mean, and even though he wasn't allowed in a contest, you still come and you come as your favorite superhero and just enjoy the day doing that, whether you're there for the contest or not. You see a lot of people walking around in costume, and they're just enjoying it. So.
And we will keep our tally of Harley Quinns and Deathpools, and that'll be that.
Yeah, because I was stationed in the cosplay room last time.
Yeah,
I lost count real quick.
Yeah, you couldn't even. They blended together.
It was easier to keep up with the different variations of Harley and Deadpool.
Right, because you had like a full Harlequin costume, or like the bustier
pirate Deadpool.
Right.
Or it was so there's a guy who wears a horse's head.
Awesome.
It's Deadpoolicon. It's like it's a unicorn head that he wears. It's really odd. But hey, he commits to it, by God.
I saw the funniest cartoon the other day that said, "Nobody appreciates Reverse Centaur." And it's just the back of him. So you just have to imagine that, Timmy. Yeah. And with that, I think that we should go to the Misty Borderlands.
Yeah. Let's hit
this is an amazing story.
Yeah. Let's hit the Misty Land border, or Misty Borderland Cafe, or whatever the hell it is. You know what it is. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, off the highway.
Let's get to the multiverse.
Now it's time to explore the multiverse. on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, we've been traveling this road for a while now. We started at the first mention of the multiverse in DC Comics, which is the Flash of Two Worlds. We've traveled on. We finally got up to the big crossroads, which is Crisis on Infinite Earths.
And we did it.
We took 4 weeks to get through it, but we got through it all. So now we move on past that, which I think is hilarious. The Crisis was supposed to end all this stuff.
Right.
It was supposed to be the thing that fixed everything. But it's still going on after. Like, this was 1989, so it was 2 years. 2 years, 3 years after
there you go.
Crisis ended.
There's the math.
There it is. It takes me a while, you know me. So this was 3 years after Crisis ended, and we're having a second Crisis. And we're also getting, I don't know how early this was in Grant Morrison's career, whether he was still a young artist or a young writer at this time. But this is called the second Crisis, and it's in the pages of Animal Man.
Yes. Animal Man from, right, you said December 1989. We're going to talk about issues 18 up to, I believe, 24, which does, in fact, have an entire crisis in it.
Yeah.
Would you like to know how?
Sure.
All right.
I'm just ready for this. This is kind of like your first exposure to Grant Morrison.
I did not know what to expect.
That dude is wacky, man.
He is off
He's
the wall.
really, really good, but you almost need a score sheet to keep up with everything going this way and that.
It's so true.
And it's so...
It's a high traffic story.
Yeah, and it's so wacky. I mean, it's really crazy stuff.
And yeah, okay. Anyway, so this is I wouldn't call this like a proper crisis like we've seen. I think Morrison sort of explores the crisis idea because ultimately he becomes the author of Final Crisis.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that he got this sort of run to experiment with what's gone on.
This was some of his first work with DC Comics.
Oh my God.
He actually sent proposals to them for Animal Man, which, you know, Animal Man is not exactly
like, we'll take it.
Yeah, it's like a little known character. He never has been used a whole lot. So if they're having somebody go, yeah, I want to write Animal Man, they had to go, okay,
sure,
whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had some wacky stuff going on.
Yeah.
So.
Well, get ready because this is going to be a ride.
Oh yeah.
So in Animal Man,
buckle up.
Yeah, buckle up. So in Animal Man 18, all right, we'll just jump into it. So there's a character, James Highwater, who he and Buddy are sort of having a conversation. He sort of tells him that he had an encounter with the Psychopirate. I guess James Highwater's a doctor, and he studies crime and all that stuff and everything.
And Psychopirate, is he still in the loony
Still
bin?
in Arkham, yep.
Okay.
And he sees him and then has some revelation. And then Buddy thinks that like maybe what he's seeing has some connection to how Buddy got his powers
and
from that
for those
alien
that don't
race.
know, Buddy Baker is Animal Man.
Buddy Baker's Animal Man, yes. And he got his powers from an explosion of a spaceship.
Okay.
Which made him connect to something called the morphogenetic field, which allows him to change into an animal. Okay, so let's just jump into it. So, Buddy and James Highwater, they travel out to basically a mesa in Arizona.
Okay.
When after visiting the Psychopirate, he finds a map with it circled. Yeah.
The kid's wearing a shirt.
Lestat lives.
Lestat lives.
That's very, very 90s. Yeah, absolutely. And they both go there, and James and Buddy take peyote.
Nice.
Yeah. They find peyote buttons, and they take them.
Hell yeah.
And this is a great issue. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
And they meet. They basically trip their balls off. And they meet Buddy's spirit animal, Foxy, which, you should scroll ahead and see.
Shut up.
Yep, look at them.
This is nuts.
They are out of their minds. And they later, Buddy finds a cave painting, and I posted this on the Facebook page because he's pointing to it, and it's all these sort of drawings, and he says, this was the crisis. So he sees in a cave painting that the crisis occurring in what looks like ancient painting.
Oh, wow.
So it's nobody's supposed to know about the crisis, right? It's only Psychopirate who remembers.
Yeah, he's the only one that remembers because they all start to forget after a while.
And it's the people in Alexander Luthor Jr. Yeah, there it is. So that's the crisis. They're sort of describing it there. There's the Earths and all that stuff.
And he
everything.
was there. I mean, it was like a blink and you miss it kind of thing. But Animal Man was part of the Crisis.
That's right. Yeah,
So-
we saw him more at the end, sort of traveling with teams and things like
Yeah.
that. So they have a great peyote trip. There's this initial foreshadowing of the Crisis, and then at the very end, it's a very dark scene. But Mr. Lennox, who's a pretty evil-looking character, Morrison created him in the Animal Man series. He goes to Buddy's house and finds the very vulnerable wife and children of Animal Man.
Not cool.
Yeah. So that ends at 18. So we get that first sort of foreshadowing of the Crisis.
Yeah.
And then all the Kachina dolls from the Southwest Navajo come. I mean, it is epic. It is epic, the trip that they go on.
The giant eagle.
The giant eagle. I mean, it's like...
Bad trip.
Yeah. Wait till you see the whale.
Oh, my God.
The whale that swallows them. Yeah. You'll just see. And there's Mr. Lennox. Look how...
Oh, yeah. That almost looks like
Yeah, what's his name? The
Brayfocal.
or the guy with the eyes from Sandman.
Oh, the Corinthian.
Yeah, right. Oh,
Yeah,
you get
but
Norm Brayfogle?
The artwork looks like Norm Brayfocal, who was, the Batman artist at the time, like late 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Was huge. It's one of my favorites. So
nice.
So that look there, I guess the artist was
Turek or Trogue and Hazelwood. Those are the two. Yeah. Okay, so now this is where Morrison's stuff gets full on. So in Animal Man 19, meanwhile, on the Mesa in Arizona, Buddy and James are under the influence of peyote.
Nice.
Now, Buddy must learn about 4 special secrets in his life that this trip is supposed to meant to reveal. So the first one is that he is connected to the morphogenetic field, right, a.k.a. his power. So
that's what gives him his power. Okay.
Exactly. And there's the whale.
There's the whale, yeah. Swimming through the sky.
Yep.
Goodness.
Exactly. And then the second secret is that Buddy learns that he's not the only Animal Man. So what ends up happening is a second Animal Man, which is the pre-crisis Animal Man.
Oh, okay.
Shows up and the
different outfit
and the haircut, and he's got a completely different story.
Yeah.
So this is the sort of counterpart interaction, and he's like, well, no, I'm Buddy, but I'm not. Yeah. So that was secret number 2. Still tripping balls. And then the third secret now, and this is amazing, but you need to scroll and see this, because this is Grant Morrison at its finest.
Yikes.
He breaks the fourth wall, Buddy, and he looks at us and says, I can see you.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That... Oh, my God.
Isn't that great? And he's got Crisis Face. He's got perfect crisis face.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Balls. And then later...
They were watching us.
Yeah, right. And then later, Buddy falls completely out of the comic panel into the margins of the page.
Holy crap.
Later on. Yeah, it's really amazing.
This is wacky stuff.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you.
And then... it's...
So they're still in Arizona, but yet they're on an island now.
Well, no, it's the Mesa. They're
but there's water.
Oh, it's because of the whale. Yeah, it's the whale. Yeah.
What the hell? Of course there's water, because there's a whale.
Right.
Why is there a whale? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, so then so now what's happened is that their hallucinations start to wear off, and
but Buddy's outside the comic now.
Buddy is outside the comic. Yeah, so he realizes that he's in a comic book. So it's like
he becomes She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Because She-Hulk knew that she was in a comic book.
Did she really?
For a while, yeah.
Oh,
she was
nice.
so smart that she knew that she was living in a fictional world.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, it does not.
No,
Stop
it doesn't.
that.
Yeah, I was just kidding. And then Foxy warns them that learning the truth this way comes at a price. Yeah, it's great. It really is. And then this is awful. Go to the last page. Buddy goes home after an acid trip, and his family is completely dead.
Oh,
yeah, they're all murdered.
Oh my God,
it's shown. Yeah, it's all murdered.
That
his
is
kids
jacked up.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and it's another thing.
This is where now this goes from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas to broken down.
Yeah.
Buddy Baker.
Oh, that's another thing that Grant Morrison is known for.
Is it just
Bloodbath.
destroying?
Yes.
Okay, all right, cool.
He is not shy about just. Well, one of his biggest creations when he was writing Batman was the Circus of the Strange. It was basically a traveling band of serial killers.
Oh God!
Professor Pig was one of the
You told
the
me
leader.
about this, yeah.
And that was some wacky stuff.
I'm glad I'm getting this taste in Animal Man. It's just enough. So in Animal Man 20 now, Buddy's completely broken. Completely.
Yeah.
We learn now that Mr. Lennox has killed the family, and that he's now scheming with his employer about that possible retaliation from Buddy. So now they're developing this thing called the Bug Suit, which is like a Iron Man type thing that Mr. Lennox will wear, and Animal Man and him will fight in.
Yeah.
But now we see Psycho Pirate, and he is like absolutely freaking out in his cell. And, we're sort of getting into, they're like, oh, he's rambling. What is he saying? Like all this stuff. So Psycho Pirate's got some really cool stuff lurking. And then now at Buddy's wife and children's funeral, the Justice League Europe members attend. And then afterwards, Buddy and Martian Manhunter discuss that Buddy's going to quit the League. He's pretty much done. So thanks, guys.
Everybody's in like a nice suit. A dress, except for Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Who's wearing
he's wearing his costume.
His weird Martian bondage outfit.
Totally. Yeah, it's like some Martian skydiving.
Pardon me while I stand here in my underwear.
Yeah. I know how you're feeling, buddy. Stop staring at my abs. I can tell that you like my abs. All right, so later on when Buddy's home, a police detective is sort of searching the house, and they're wondering, like, well, the security system was never tripped, so how did this person get into the house? And then he says, well, what's down in the basement? And there is his Justice League Europe transporter tube.
Oh, yeah.
Which now he thinks may have been hacked, because he tells a story about these people who hacked them.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting. So somebody may have come in, killed the people, and then got out that same way. And then, we see a demonstration of the big bug man and all that stuff, and it's going to be great, and Lennox is pumped. And then later on, Buddy is at his lowest point, and he smashes his face against a mirror.
Oh, God.
And tries to kill himself with pills.
Yeah, he's all pilled up.
He's so done. But then the phone rings, and someone says, like, I have names of people that you would be interested in, and it stops him from dying. Yep, there he is. He's like, oh, okay, I'll hear the names.
Yikes.
So now, Animal Man number 21, Buddy gets real dark.
Yeah.
And he dons like a different costume that's all leather. And I guess that's like an older Animal Man suit, or it was like an alternative one for a while. And now he goes down to, he finds out these names. They're the names of the businessmen who funded Mr. Lennox to kill his family. So he knows exactly what's going on. Okay, now get ready for some of the best assassinations of bad guys by Animal Man you've ever seen. You just need to check these out. So he kills them absolutely brutally.
Just out cold blood, kind of?
Is
that Mirror Master?
That is Mirror Master.
Okay.
They team up. Mirror Master kind of helps him out because it helps him hide and shoot some dudes for him and stuff. Okay, so there's a man, and he's fishing. And, Buddy just pretty much, like, takes him underwater, holds him under, and he says, held him until he stopped kicking.
Yeah, this is a direct quote from the dialogue box. I hold him until he stops kicking. Yikes.
Yeah, that's dark. That's really dark.
Yeah, that's pretty dark, yeah.
So there's Mr. Lennox saying somebody's died and blah, blah, blah. Okay, now this...
So that's part of his group, like his circle of...
Those are his financiers.
Yeah, okay.
Who are funding the whole project and all that good stuff. So now the second guy, he's playing golf.
Oh, yeah.
And then Buddy...
Like rich people do.
Look at what Buddy does. He shoots out of the ground like Mole Man and then rips him into the ground and then just says, where am I? You're in the dirt down among the dead men where you put my family. Right? And he says, I'm sealing up the tunnel.
Yikes.
So he just buries him alive.
Wow.
It's amazing. Okay, now this is great. This is when him and Mirror Master team up here, which is pretty funny. So So this next guy is in a building, and so he's in an elevator, and they're basically threatening to like drop him off the side of the building, which they eventually do, but not before getting him to cut 2 checks, one to Mirror Master, and then the other one to Greenpeace.
Nice.
Yeah. So Mirror Master's like, make it out to me, like all good.
Of course, yeah. Come on, I gotta get some payment out of this.
Amen. Yeah. And then Buddy like kicks him. The dude, and then he like flies through the wall and then down the side of a building, that big tall building we saw earlier, and that guy falls to his death. There it goes.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So Buddy cracks him. So now after, and then they ultimately have the big fight with Lennox in the bug suit, and it's with the team up with Mirror Master that he just demolished him. Buddy is so strong. I mean, he just tore it up.
That's the thing. He can pull from any animal. So you think about the proportional strength of an ant. They can lift so much more than
his body weight. Yeah.
So he can pull from that, or the fly that he's getting power from. He can pull from any. He's potentially one of the most powerful superheroes out there,
depending on how he does. Yeah. Right. After he defeats all the bad guys, he pretty much breaks down and says like, this didn't help. This was not like at all what I was hoping would come from this. Which everybody who commits revenge is like, that's pretty much how it goes. But then he says, you know what? All I need is a time machine.
So he just basically eviscerated that dude in the suit.
Lennox stood no chance. Yeah,
because he was dying anyway. He says his heart rate is erratic. He doesn't have long, but he still kills him in a brutal way.
Yeah, with that claw that he has. So that was a pretty awesome issue.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Time machine. That'll fix everything.
Exactly, which I thought was a wonderful solution. So now in Animal Man 22, we find out now
a new suit.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
It's like the 4th suit in 4 issues.
Yeah. It's just a different style, that leather jacket in that previous.
Well, he's always got the jacket. That's the thing. It's just the suit underneath changes.
Right.
But he always has the funky glasses and the jacket.
Right. So we discover in this issue that Psychopirate can create pre-crisis items by basically crying rainbows, which you'll see in a little while.
I'm sorry. Say again?
He can create pre-crisis items by crying rainbows, which you'll see. It's awesome once that part comes up. Finally, he cries out the Flash of Two Worlds comic and says, "Oh, I like comics." Like it's a really great
booster.
I know I'm skipping over this part, but Buddy goes like all around trying to find. There we go.
God.
Trying to find a time machine, and it's he's rejected by like a few people, and then basically he goes to meet the Lords of Time.
Yeah.
Which are they the Legends of Tomorrow, or are they just a whole different team?
Rip Hunter is one of the Time Masters.
Okay.
And I think the Lords of Time may be like
the Booster's in it. That's who you saw before.
Yeah, I think they're Rip Hunter's part of that group.
Okay.
And Booster is kind of.
He's a time traveler, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, he finally gets the time machine, and then he's in his kitchen, and he hits the button, and like nothing happens, and then all of a sudden he's like, and he's taken into time. But they mentioned earlier that there was something wrong with the time machine. They thought something hadn't been fixed, and then the guy who gave it to him was like, no, it's all good.
Yeah, I fixed that.
But what ended up happening was that it wasn't. The time machine, like itself, stayed in the future. Or in the time that Buddy came from, but then Buddy's body went into the past.
So now he's stuck.
Yeah. So he's stuck as a ghost, almost like a phased entity, because it fluctuates in and out. But some people can see him, which is very interesting. He goes back a few years, right? Where he sees his wife and family are still alive. He sees himself, right? But nobody else can see him. Yeah, a completely different costume. Buddy's now stuck in between the times and can only act as a ghost with no way to touch or be heard or seen. So it's like the movie Ghost, pretty much. He sees himself very young, and like he sees his dad. Like there's like this sort of traumatic moment of him as a kid, which is quite interesting. And then we also see a prologue of the moment where Dr. Highwater and the Psychopirate were in Arkham. And
he actually talks to his daughter.
Yeah, he does get he can do that for a moment.
Yeah, he becomes solid enough that he can talk to her, but then he starts to fade away as his wife comes running out.
Mm.
And he's doing the whole thing from Ghost, trying to touch stuff and get it to move
with his wife.
Yeah,
which is like
exactly
she's
like Ghost.
Dead, but
yeah.
I thought this was very much like Ghost.
Yeah,
pretty much. And you can see there's a kid playing with a Ouija board.
Yeah,
good times. But if you go ahead now, you'll see that Psychopirate is starting to like barf up all these things.
God.
Yeah, this is that traumatic moment of him and his dad.
Yeah.
So they take him through his whole life. It's like, and then guess who shows up? The Phantom Stranger.
Nice.
Who can see him?
Of course, it's the Phantom Stranger.
All right, who would have thought? And then Psychopirate is blah blah blah, but he keeps yelling, "They're coming!" Right at the very end. And those two guys right there, those are the aliens that are related to Buddy.
Okay.
As far as giving him his powers.
Okay.
But now they're sort of in this mix with the Crisis. They're sort of pushing this to happen.
Okay.
So let's see. Okay, so signaling that what will happen here is that some Doom Crisis characters are coming back. Which is really cool. So this is the issue. 23 is the jam. Okay. So it's called Crisis. Yeah. Now get this. Animal Man, Phantom Stranger, Jason Blood, Immortal Man, James Highwater, the aliens, Overman, right, or Uberman.
Ultraman?
No. He's a Overman. He's like an alternate reality Superman.
Oh, okay.
Then we have Psychopirate.
That's the Crime Syndicate.
That's Ultraman. Yeah.
And Power Ring.
That's right.
And Johnny Quick.
I'm reading the list here.
Okay, sorry.
Why don't you let me do that? Thank you.
I'm looking.
Okay. So we have the Love Syndicate of Dreamworld, who's Sunshine Superman, Speed Freak, and Magic Lantern. And then we have the Crime Syndicate, Johnny Quick, Owlman, Power Ring, Ultraman.
Oh, God, I love Owlman.
But then get this, Aquagirl, Batman and Robin, Beppo. These are like the animals. Binky, Bug-Eyed Bandit, Detective Chimp, Golden Gladiator, the Icicle, who I'm so happy to see again.
Oh, yeah.
Cole, Maldor, Peggy, Prince Rahman, Simon, Sargon, Scarecrow, Spectre, Streaky the Supercat, Ten-Eyed Man, and Ubermensch are all in this issue.
Holy
They all come back because Psychopirate opens a portal from the pre-crisis time.
Them back?
And he brings them back. Yeah, he's so weird. Yeah, it's really bizarre. So the Psychopirate now prepares for the second crisis, donning his costume and Medusa mask. And he walks the halls of Arkham Asylum. He comes face to face with a number of characters who have been removed from continuity following the crisis on Infinite Earths. The aliens who granted Animal Man his power guide Dr. Highwater to Arkham, explaining that all of the different versions of reality are converging there. It's basically because of Psychopirate. Mm-hmm. Inside, they hope to have a part in preventing the apocalypse. In the past, Animal Man and the Phantom Stranger meet with Jason Blood and the Immortal Man. With their unique perspective on death, the three mortals do their best to convince Buddy of the value of life and living and the nature of death. When Buddy realizes his value, he suddenly returns to the time stream. And then meanwhile, as Dr. Highwater and the aliens near the epicenter of the anomalies, the out-of-continuity characters start to realize the nature of the universe, with Ultraman eventually falling out of panel, which he does. It's kind of funny. Yeah.
So he falls out of the panel now.
Oh, yeah. Morrison just keeps doing that.
Oh, jeez.
As the danger grows, the aliens and Dr. Highwater become more agitated, wondering where Animal Man is. Suddenly, as things come to a head, Animal Man arrives. So it's the big showdown. So now, the last issue here of this second crisis, and there's some shots. Don't you love the Batman? And yeah, there's Uberman, or Ubermensch, I guess.
Ubermensch.
Yeah, and the Spectre. He's real dark looking.
That's crazy.
So with Animal Man now arrived at Arkham, he and the revived pre-crisis characters explore the nature of the strange anomaly, a breach in the continuum. Physicists, yeah, we get that. Dr. James Highwater explains that all of them are merely minor characters in a story meant to entertain. Before anyone can step through the breach, Overman appears with a doomsday bomb.
Of course.
Yeah, it's great when he. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still back where Ultraman gets knocked out of the panel.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Oh God.
Yeah, it's a good time. So he comes with the Doomsday Bomb, having been released along with the other retconned characters from the mind of the Psycho Pirate. The assembled characters panic, and Ultraman attacks Overman in an effort to maintain his dignity. I'm a man. Unfortunately,
Ultraman.
Yeah, he and all the other heroes who try are easily defeated by the villain. Then Dr. Highwater discovers comic books depicting the events at hand and comes to a realization about the nature of space-time. Before he can reveal his epiphany, Animal Man enters the breach. Psycho Pirate explains to Dr. Highwater that the comic books likely came from Earth Prime and hints at the nature of the crisis. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just ran across. He's got the Doomsday Bomb and it's got Purification Day written across it. This is crazy.
It's great. I mean, it's really just so over the top.
Oh, man.
He claims that the only person who remembers the crisis on Infinite Earths, the second crisis, let's see. Yeah, the Psycho Pirate, is the result of his pulling the dead characters back into the continuity. So creating this...
Because he pulled them back out.
It's a brand new crisis. Yeah. Yeah. And he was basically hoping for total chaos. This is his revenge story, which is a nice idea. From outside the comic panels now, Animal Man taunts Overman as the timer on the Doomsday Bomb runs down. The fight continues until Animal Man pulls Overman into the breach where he is overwhelmed by the truth about reality. Animal Man traps Overman inside a comic panel, which slowly shrinks until the villain is destroyed within it. It's kind of funny. Yeah. Yeah, you'll see.
Let me out. Oh, yeah. God. He's a mime. He's being pushed. The box is going closer and closer. Oh.
Meanwhile, Dr. Highwater attempts to convince the returned characters that despite the fact that they were erased from continuity, they live on eternally through comic books. Faced with this fact, the characters are still angry, but they all disintegrate as they are absorbed into Psycho Pirate's Medusa masks spontaneously. The aliens that gave Animal Man his powers convinced Dr. Highwater to don the mask and take the role of mediator between man and the forces of creation. So this is now like the cleanup after the crisis. And then Psycho Pirate becomes increasingly agitated as the Doomsday Bomb reaches 30 seconds to detonation. The aliens remain detached and refuse to intervene. Fortunately, Animal Man returns just in time,
of course,
to simply switch off the device. Later, Animal Man watches as Psycho Pirate begins to fade from continuity, so here they've taken him out. He realized that being taken out of continuity isn't so bad after all, but wishes that all the old characters could have stayed longer to make the world more interesting.
Wow,
and then,
that's not a message to the editors.
I don't know what is, yeah.
Yeah.
And then back at home, Animal Man switches back to his old costume, refusing to wear animal skins again.
Well, that makes sense.
Totally. He demands of his alien benefactors to know who writes the world. However, they disappear before revealing anything. After they go, Buddy hears a voice which leads him to the front door. When he opens it, the world outside has become a surreal landscape. No! And this keeps going. So this doesn't really even end. And it's a whole nother story. So like Grant Morrison is just taking Animal Man and and scraping him along the floor. I mean,
basically, yeah.
So all right, so we did peyote, right, with spirit animals. We learned the nature of his soul and universe, and then
some wacky stuff.
Yeah, and then his family's killed, and then he goes on a murderous rampage. He quits the Justice League of Europe.
Then he goes back in time.
Right, he kills those three dudes. He kills Lennox to get revenge.
God almighty.
He sees his daughter, right? Gets to interact with her slightly.
Yeah, she's able to see him.
And then what? And then now he's in this surreal world, and his glasses break or something, you know.
This is nuts.
Isn't that crazy?
This is absolutely nuts.
Isn't this nuts? I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. I'm so impressed. Like, I would really like to read more Grant Morrison stuff.
Hey, yeah,
Not today, of course.
No, you got to pause a little bit on that.
I know. I need to read like Looney Tunes or something.
Yeah, you cleanse your brain.
Teen Titans Go, and where they fight about popcorn or something.
Yeah.
But
wow.
yeah, Tim, this was. I know your eyes are still bugging out of your head. But coming up, as far as our next Crisis story is concerned, we're going to be looking at
0 Hour.
At 0 Hour, yes.
90s goodness, baby.
Totally 90s goodness. And I have this bundled. So let's see. The JSA is disbanded.
Every comic series got an issue 0
around that time
during this time. Yeah, because that was the whole gimmick. The 0 Hour series counted down. The first issue was number 5, then 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0 was the last one.
Right.
And while this was going on, each comic got an issue 0, which was the perfect jumping on point for people because it retold the origin for each character.
Yeah, and I was wondering because I know that a lot of people have used titles of issues and sub-stories within the Crisis on Infinite Earths to label series after the fact. Mm-hmm. So I was wondering if 0 Hour was in fact one of the books.
I don't think it was
one of the Crisis books, but I know like Final Crisis is.
Yeah, Final Crisis is. Yeah.
That was the last issue of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yep. So we've heard those phrases before.
Yeah.
And then Countdown and all that crazy stuff and everything. So we're gonna be reading a 0 Hour, and
that's Parallax.
That is, yeah. So the JSA is disbanded after a crisis that results in the rebuilding of history caused by Hal Jordan, who has become the supervillain Parallax.
Nice.
Yeah.
The big shoulder pads.
The big shoulder pads, indeed. Yeah, all glowy green and stuff like that. So this has been your bartender at the Misty Borderland Lounge saying, don't do peyote and read Grant Morrison.
Woo, yeah.
Seriously, this was
what we really learned is reading Grant Morrison is like taking peyote.
I feel like William S. Burroughs wrote a comic.
That's a really good point. Yeah, that's it. He's crazy. He's absolutely nuts. But you can't put it down.
No, I was like, what's going to happen to this guy next?
Yeah, you absolutely can't put it down.
And the art was tight. I mean, it was a different style than I'm used to. Like the proportions of the faces, like everybody had really big eyes.
Yeah, 90s.
90s.
Yep.
But it was great. I mean,
and everybody's going They're all like the whole time.
Yeah, that's a 90s Crisis
screaming.
face.
Yeah, Crisis face. Yeah. That's the evolution of the Crisis face from Crisis on Infinite Earths now into the 90s, where everybody's
from like this to like
yeah. Everybody's grimacing and pooping.
Yeah.
So, all right, that is our Exploring the Multiverse segment. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have part 2 of our showcase on The Flash.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast, or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad!
Oh, come on! This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Your weekly dose of the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. And we're just talking about Animal Man, who definitely has some wacky different powers. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, man. Definitely the mental, I guess,
telepathy?
Or I would want both.
Telekinesis?
Both.
Because telepathy, pathy,
it's
telepathy,
just mind to mind, right?
Yeah.
And kinetics is controlling with your mind.
Yeah.
I'd want both.
Okay.
Is that okay, or do I have to choose one?
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, but if I had to choose one, I would
Mind
want
powers.
telepathic over telekinesis.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see, I would go with telekinesis because then you can do anything. You wanted to fly, you move yourself.
Oh, I guess that's true.
You want a soda, you move it to you. I mean, you can do so many things. If you can move things with your mind, you can do so many different things.
Okay.
So that's like
I like that.
That's
All
like the cheat of wishing for more wishes.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, right. I guess you could. Yeah, you could just sort of do anything. But I feel like, with telepathy, I could control people.
That's true.
I could make, I wouldn't have to call someone in my head. I could be like, Timmy, go get that. And you'd be like, thank you.
It's true. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be like Purple Man, Kilgrave.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's what he does.
Just complete mind control.
Yeah, because he one of the episodes of Jessica Jones that I watched, he come busting in someplace, and this woman's like, "Who are you, and what are you doing? You want to invite me in?"
Yeah, and then
please come on in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he Jedi mind tricked him.
And he told the little girl, like, "Don't talk until I tell you to again." And she was like, "Okay." Yeah.
Yeah, and she had to pee, and he told her to go in the closet. Yeah,
I missed that part.
Yeah. She was like, "I have to go to the bathroom," and he says, "You can go in the closet." And so she goes and gets in the closet, and all of a sudden you see pee coming out front of the door. So apparently she had to pee a lot.
So do you see my point here?
I do. Yes.
Okay, you can float, you can juggle with your brain.
That's true.
I'm making people go pee in the closet.
You make people pee in the closet. See, that's where you do.
I do.
So that's how we work it.
That's why I'm super.
All right.
That's why I'm a hero.
All right. Now it's time for our showcase segment.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ninja Troll Digicast proudly presents The Showcase.
All right, this is our showcase segment where we shine the Ninja Troll spotlight on different subjects. This week is part 2 of our showcase on The Flash. We started off 2 weeks ago because we took last week off. We started with Jay Garrick and Barry Allen.
Yep.
So this week we're going to start with Wally West.
Right, that's your Flash.
That's my Flash, exactly. That's when I was reading in the really voraciously reading in the 90s. He was the Flash, and that's who I kept up with. So Wally was created by John Broome and Carmine Infantino and made his first appearance in Flash 110. He was the nephew of Iris West, Barry Allen's then girlfriend and later wife. And always makes me laugh. During a visit to the Central City Police Crime Lab, the freak accident that gave Barry his powers was repeated.
Oh, man.
They didn't even try to come up with something different.
Why not?
They just did the exact same thing. And a lightning bolt hit, doused Wally with electrically charged chemicals, and gave him the same powers as Barry.
Oh, Lord.
And for a while, he actually wore just a smaller version of Barry's costume.
Oh, so he was
he was like mini-me. So, yeah, it was exact same costume, just a smaller version.
Mini Flash.
He's 1/8 my size.
Run to the store.
That was actually altered in Flash 135 to the one that we know of now.
The yellow and with the exposed hair.
Yeah, the top was open so his ginger hair could pop out. It was had red leggings, gloves, and earpieces, and there was no top to the cowl to really set him apart from the Flash, visually apart from the Flash. Wally had a strained relationship with his parents, so he often looked to his beloved aunt and uncle for moral support and guidance. He was a founding member of the Teen Titans, where he met and became friends with Dick Grayson, Robin/Nightwing. While he was a Titan, he contracted a mysterious disease that caused him to age faster whenever he used his speed powers. So literally, every time he used his powers, he was killing himself. Because of this, he left the Titans and retired from being a superhero. That's where we found him in Crisis. When Jay goes to find him, he was retired.
Coming out of retirement. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
That makes sense.
And nobody knew why he was retired. And he didn't mention that to Jay. He didn't tell, hey, listen, I'm killing myself doing this. But he did it because that's what heroes do. But he during that whole thing, he he got hit by a blast of antimatter energy, which actually put his disease into remission.
Right.
But it also limited his powers
to Mach 1.
Right?
Yeah,
he could only use go to Mach 1. And he had. Well, this is something they got. I'll get into that in just a second.
Yeah.
But, some of the changes they made to his power, but he decided to take on his mentor's costume and identity to pay tribute to him and become the Flash.
This is at the end of the crisis.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
And that was the first sidekick to actually take over for their mentor.
Yeah, that's true.
Dick Grayson did it later several times, becoming Batman. But
Right.
this was the first time that a sidekick had actually stepped up and become that character.
Right, because we saw Earth 2 Robin, but he wasn't Batman.
He was still always Robin.
Right.
Yeah. And like Speedy became Red Arrow, became Arsenal.
But nobody ever became.
But he didn't. Yeah, he didn't become Green Arrow.
Wow.
So this is the first time that a sidekick had actually taken his mentor's place.
Wow.
So, and with the power reduction, like I was saying, he could only move at the speed of sound instead of the speed of light. And he also had to eat vast quantities of food to maintain his metabolism.
This is like John Wesley Shipp in the Flash
Exactly.
show.
Yeah, that's what they. Yeah.
Hungry.
In that show, they mixed pieces of the different Flashes.
Oh.
They use that because it does make sense. If you're moving that fast, you're going to burn more calories.
Well, and it came out when Wally was the Flash.
Yes,
Barry
exactly.
was not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So
But
they
it was a
included
Barry
that.
character.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I always thought that was a funny part of it because he had to go and fight Mirror Master or whatever. Then he hit Big Belly Burger and was knocking him down. So
Right.
it was just something. It was like the post fight victory meal.
Yeah.
So, it was something. And Wally was always he was still almost a kid. He had that fun nature to him because he was a Titan, and he was still kind of. And it actually came back. They addressed the situation. To him, he's still the sidekick. Barry's still the Flash to him.
Yeah. Right. You said he always kept Barry above on a pedestal.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. In 1987, DC launched a new Flash series starring Wally, written by Mike Baron and drawn by Jackson Guice. In the series, Wally won the lottery, bought a mansion, and became something of a playboy. This went on for a while until in the early 90s, his finances bottomed out, and actually there's several issues where like people are like bill collectors are calling and he's like, okay, you guys haven't heard, I ain't got nothing. It's no more big money. I'm living in a crappy apartment. So yeah, he really bottomed out. Yeah, it kind of sucked.
Did Grant Morrison write that?
No. Mark Waid, actually. He's
all right. He's pretty dark too.
Yeah. They also changed the costume in 1991, with the belt being comprised of 2 lightning bolts meeting in a V instead of the traditional 1 bolt that went straight around the waist.
Cool.
They also removed the wings from the top of the boots and added lenses to the cowls. That to me is the biggest difference in Wally and Barry's costume. Is you can't see the eyes. There's opaque lenses.
And Barry's is open.
Barry's is open, exactly, yeah. An encounter with the first Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne, made Wally realize that the restrictions on his speed was a psychological block he had placed on his powers to prevent himself from truly replacing Barry. Thawne taunted Wally, telling him that he would become the true Flash instead of Wally. And this pushed him past his blocks because he feared Thawne replacing Barry more than he did replacing him himself. So that actually allowed him to push past that.
Oh, that's cool. So that's how he got over that.
Exactly, yeah.
Was anybody with him, training him or guiding him, saying, come on, you got to get past this?
Jay was Jay Garrick was like a mentor, but not specifically on that situation.
Gotcha.
After this, he became a match for Barry's speed and eventually surpassed him. He also had the ability to phase through objects, but his control was never as good as Barry's. So anything he phased through would explode.
Damn.
So it was like one of those things is like, okay, yeah, I can go through it, but there's going to need to be a cleanup.
Yeah.
He also developed several powers that Barry never had. He was able to share / steal speed, use his speed to kinetically upgrade his attacks, and super heal others. That was he was able to extend his aura to them to almost give them a little bit of his super healing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because that's one of his things, right? Is that he can heal in no time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Writer Mark Waid also introduced the Speed Force, which is an energy source that served as a pseudo-scientific explanation for his powers and the other speedsters. Using this as a basis, he was able to expand Wally's powers. In the 2000s, writer Jeff Johns introduced a new version of the Reverse Flash, Zoom, who was Hunter Zolomon.
Yeah.
And married Wally off to his longtime girlfriend, Linda Park, who is a character we've seen on the show.
Who was Dr. Light in the show.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. In the series Infinite Crisis, Wally and his family left for an alternate reality, and Bart Allen took over as the fourth Flash, and they relaunched the series as Flash, the Fastest Man Alive, starring Bart. Reaction was not that great. It was very mixed, to be charitable about it, for the new version of the character, and he was killed off soon after that. Wally and his family returned to the Earth in the JLA/JSA story, The Lightning Saga, and they looked to have aged like several years. The kids were a little older now, which I think was mainly just to give a little more writing opportunities, because the kids were just a little bit older. So you got more opportunities there. He appeared in All Flash #1 in 2007, seeking vengeance on Bart's killers, and the Flash series soon resumed after the long hiatus. It actually picked back up with issue 231, which is where they had left off.
Oh, nice. They didn't renumber.
Exactly.
Thank goodness.
And that was in October of 2007. The series followed Wally as he tried to raise his two superpowered twins who have accelerated growth, which, while he is also unemployed and his mistrust the mistrust of the League for bringing his children into it. Because the Justice League was like, okay, what are you doing? These are kids. So, but he wanted, and they actually, anytime he thought about them, the Speed Force would bring them to him. So he had to really concentrate and make sure, like, he didn't put them in trouble.
Yeah,
like
right.
He's in the middle of a fight. He thinks
what about them?
Boop.
And then they show up.
Yeah, they pop up.
And then like Darkseid's there.
Yeah, and you're in trouble. So, the Speed Force would bring them to him.
Oh, wow.
The series was canceled in February 2009 with issue 247. And during the Flash Rebirth, Wally's costume was changed to further distinguish him from Barry. And after Rebirth, Barry became the star of the new Flash series, with Wally only making one appearance, not even in costume.
What's that about?
They pretty much, after Flash Rebirth, they just pushed him completely out.
Why?
And that's my big question. It's like,
He's awesome.
Yeah, why would you do that to an established character that's been around for that long? Give him a different name, okay? The Flash is back. But Wally would be the one to go, okay, Barry's back, he's the Flash.
Right.
I'm fast guy.
Quick guy, yeah.
Quick guy, yeah, or something like that. I mean, there's Johnny Quick, there's Max Mercury, there's other speedsters.
Impulse, right?
Yeah, there's other speedsters. You don't have to just completely discard the character.
Especially because wasn't Wally the Flash the longest? Or was Barry?
Barry probably was, because he was created in 56, died in 80. So yeah, that's 30 years right there.
Yeah, so he's got it.
Yeah, so 23 years was how long Wally was the Flash. But still, that's a long time.
More than Jay Garrick was.
Oh yeah, that's a long
was the Flash.
time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I never understood why they just completely discarded the character. It could have easily been. It's something, give him his own series, make him his own hero.
Yeah, make him a detective or something.
That's a custom-made start for the series. Okay, I was the Flash for this long. Now the real Flash is back. Who am I?
Great story.
That's a kickoff right there.
That's awesome.
An awesome story right there. How do I deal with this?
Timmy, pitch it to DC.
Yeah.
I think you need to write a script, man.
Yeah.
And send it. That sounds like a great idea.
So, yeah, I mean, and then it was even worse when they rebooted everything for the New 52.
Oh, your favorite.
He wasn't even mentioned. He was actually Barry is the only Flash, and Wally's not even mentioned. He's finally shown in Flash number 30 in a 5-year flash forward where Wally died in a car crash that the Flash was too late to prevent. So you see, it shows you a panel that's 5 years in the future. There's a car crash. You don't even see who it is then. Then you get a 20-year flash forward. Barry is in a blue costume, looks like energy-based costume.
Oh, cool.
And he's looking at basically Wally's obituary, saying, "I'll never be late again." And he ends up going back in time to our time and takes Barry, present time Barry's place for a while. That would actually just resolved itself maybe a year or so ago, because he came back in time and he was a little more brutal, and he broke one of the he was fighting one of the rogues and just broke their arm, and everybody's like, "Dude, what are you doing?" and he had been in the game long enough to where he was really jaded, and he was like, "Okay, I'm not messing around with these guys anymore."
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's it. You're hurt.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Wow. So everything's always paradoxical, right? So every time they've even introduced a new Flash, they've had it be some sort of where it loops back, harkens back. Old threats come and say, "Oh, you're the Flash," or they have to travel ahead. Or that's interesting. So even with the evolution of characters, changing of people, I love that. I mean, the Flash is really a time traveler. I mean, it's like
yeah. And the Bart Allen was the fourth Flash. He first appeared in a cameo version in Flash number 91, and his first full appearance was number 92 in 1994. He also appeared as the lead character in Impulse from 1995 until 2002, and The Flash, the Fastest Man Alive from 2006 to 2007. Like I said, it didn't go that well. So. So, he was born in the 30th century. And you got to keep up with this paragraph here.
Okay.
He was born in the 30th century to Melanie Thawne, a descendant of Reverse Flash and Cobalt Blue. And his father was Don Allen, son of Barry Allen, and one of the Tornado Twins. Don Allen is one of the Tornado Twins.
Okay.
He has an incredibly complex family tree, including many superheroes and supervillains. His father was one of the Tornado Twins, obviously. His paternal grandfather is Barry Allen. His paternal grandmother, Iris West Allen, is the adoptive aunt of Wally West, who is Bart's first cousin once removed. He is the cousin of Excess, a Legionnaire and daughter of Dawn Allen, the other Tornado Twin.
Yep.
On his mother's side, he is the descendant of supervillains Professor Zoom and Cobalt Blue, as well as the half-brother of Owen Mercer, the second Captain Boomerang. And he also has a supervillain clone known as Inertia.
Oh, my God. Good Lord. Yeah, I'm trying to find a good family tree here that's got...
There's a lot in that one.
Yeah, that's
a mess.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, he suffered in the 30th century when he was born. He suffered from hyper-accelerated metabolism and was aging at a faster rate than other humans, causing him to appear he looked 12 years old when he was actually 2. To prevent him from developing mental health problems, he was raised in a virtual reality machine that kept pace with his own scale of time.
Oh, so he wouldn't be stressed.
Yeah, exactly. When this turned out that this was not helping, his grandmother, Iris Allen, took him back in time to the present day to get Wally West to help him. Wally tricked Bart into a race around the world, tricking him into an extreme burst of speed that kind of shocked his hypermetabolism back to normal. So it fixed him. But because he had spent his childhood in virtual reality, he had no concept of danger.
Oh.
And just basically...
Would just go for it.
Yeah, would leap way before he looked. And actually, Batman is the one who gave him his code name. They retconned it that he came up with it himself, but Batman was the one who gave him the code name Impulse. It wasn't necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, it was impulsive. Yeah,
exactly. So this was it was too much for Wally to handle. So he actually sent Bart to live with Max Mercury, a retired speedster, to help mentor him and try to get him into the real world.
Okay.
And not so much as part of the virtual reality. Realize that there's consequences. And it helped to kind of remove him from the full-on superhero fray. I mean, he still was Impulse.
Yeah.
But he wasn't part of like the higher up, like the Justice League kind of level
Super
stuff.
team.
Yeah, exactly. Max moved him to the fictional Manchester, Alabama, to live. So if you want to get out of the swing of things, go to Alabama. Bart joined the Titans and went on to become one of the founding members, along with Robin and Superboy, of Young Justice. After Max disappeared, Bart was taken in by Jay Garrick and his wife Joan. Then Young Justice broke up, and Bart joined some of his former teammates in a new lineup of the Teen Titans. Shortly after that, Bart was shot in the knee by Deathstroke and received a prosthetic one. And while he was recovering, he read every single book in the San Francisco Public Library.
There you go.
He also decided to reinvent himself as the new Kid Flash. So then he went from being Impulse to being Kid Flash. During the Infinite Crisis, Superboy Prime attacked Connor Kent and injured or killed several Teen Titans, prompting Bart to try and stop his rampage. He did this by running him at top speed into the Speed Force, and with the help of Wally and Jay Garrick. Unfortunately, it took its toll on Garrick and Wally. Jay's speed gave out before they even got to the Speed Force, and Wally turned into energy and vanished, leaving Bart alone against Superboy Prime. Luckily, Barry, Johnny Quick, and Max Mercury arrived from the Speed Force to aid him. After Superboy Prime escaped his prison in an attempt to beat him back to their dimension. They were in another dimension. Superboy Prime broke out of his prison, and Bart knew he had to beat him back to their Earth.
Yeah.
So he absorbed the Speed Force into his body.
How do you do that?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
He used Wally's ring. I don't know if he stored it in the ring, but he used Wally's ring and Barry's costume. So he combined his two Flash mentors, and he absorbed the Speed Force into himself to get back. He arrived in time for the Battle of Metropolis, when basically everybody was fighting him. But in the process, he used up the Speed Force that was stored in his body. And at the end of it, Bart gives Barry's costume to Jay and tells him that he was now the fastest man alive because he'd used up all the energy.
The juju.
Yeah, all the good juju. Yeah.
So the Battle of Metropolis is from Infinite Crisis?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That I have not read yet, so I'm...
Yeah. After this, due to his time in the Speed Force, he was now older than his friends and was unable to remember his missing years. So basically, he's like 5-6 years older. At that age, that's a lifetime to kids, age. But he can't remember that time, so it's just like this, boom, I'm now 6 years older. So he was kind of like out of time. He tried to make a normal life for himself. He actually got a job as a factory worker in Keystone City. That's weird. So, but when his roommate gained superpowers and became the supervillain, the Griffin, Bart discovered that the Speed Force did still exist inside him and began learning how to control it. Following in his grandfather's footsteps, he became the Flash. Soon after taking on the Flash identity, he was approached by both the Justice League and the Teen Titans to join, but he went with the Justice League.
All right,
you
yeah.
kinda got
The
to.
majors call you up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go.
The rogues consisting of Abracadabra, Mirror Master, Heatwave, the Pied Piper, the Trickster, Weather Wizard, and Captain Cold, and led by Inertia, who is the supervillain clone of Bart. Together they built a machine that would stop time. During the fight with them, it's revealed that the machine actually drains the Speed Force out of someone instead of stopping time. They use it on Bart and drain him of the Speed Force, but the machine is it's unstable, and the Speed Force
has to go
captured.
somewhere?
It has to go somewhere, or else it's going to explode and destroy the West Coast. So, to give others time to do that, Bart faced off with the rogues by himself, unpowered.
Whoa!
And he was killed. So he died, true
Interesting.
hero.
Wow!
Saving millions of people. After his death, a statue is erected at Titan's Tower of Bart in his Kid Flash uniform, and a special wing is erected in the Flash Museum. Wally returned to Earth as Bart died and captured. Oh, listen to this. You want to talk about the Animal Man had some crazy stuff. This is
what
Wally.
you got here? Yeah.
Wally captured Inertia and froze his body in time, but left his mind active.
Oh, so he can't
only
think
move.
about it.
He can only think about it.
Oh man,
that's messed up.
Wow.
Bart would actually return as his teenage self in his Kid Flash identity. He was brought back by Brainiac 5 to fight Superboy Prime and the Legion of Supervillains. Brainiac 5, this got a little wacky, so I had to kind of almost like flowchart it. Brainiac 5 sent the Legion back to the 21st century to use Wally's lightning bolt to house Bart's teenage Speed Force essence. So they basically went back and got his essence before he even became the Flash and stored it.
So his power, the source of his power.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Or his essence.
Yep.
So they stored that. Then later, he used let me find it here. Back in the 31st century, he used the Lightning Lads and Lasses. I didn't know there was more than one, but I thought it was just Lightning Lad.
You can't have enough.
Apparently, there's a couple more.
It's a party.
He used the Lightning Lads and Lasses along with Excess running on the cosmic treadmill to release Bart from the Speed Force. During this, Excess and Bart make mention that they feel a new strength emanating from the Speed Force, suggesting that they feel Barry's return. That could possibly what woke him up in the Speed Force.
Yeah, could be. Does this then lead to that comic that you were saying?
The Rebirth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the panels that have the Barry, that was supposed to be Barry's voice?
DC Universe number 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. This coincides with the beginning of the Flash Rebirth. Bart wants everything to return to normal for him, with Wally as the primary Flash and him as his sidekick. Me too. But yeah, he really fought against that because he wanted things to be like they were, and he was really resentful of Barry because he had come back from the Speed Force, but Max Mercury didn't. Max was like his father figure.
Oh, so
he went to live with him, and he was like, okay, why are you here and Max is not? So it took some getting used to for him. He went out running. It was a family get together. Jay and Wally and everybody was there, and he was kind of sulking in the corner. And then he took off, and Barry went to go talk to him, and it was kind of like a contentious father-son talk, even though it's grandfather-son. So it was weird. So during Blackest Night, Bart's previous status as deceased is enough to allow one of the Black Rings to transform him into a Black Lantern. Wally and Barry, as a Blue Lantern, working together, are able to free him. But Superboy, when Superboy Prime is a Black Lantern, he goes to the Flash Museum where it has the thing that says Bart Allen, fastest man alive. He marks that out and puts stupidest boy dead.
Oh,
that's messed up. So, now in the New 52, Teen Titans #1 opens with Bart 6 months prior to his first appearance. He cannot explain how he has powers, but assumes that he has something to do with the Flash, so he calls himself Kid Flash.
There you go. That's what I would do.
Later, it is revealed that he is not from the 21st century, and his name is Bar Tor, sent here as part of a witness protection program before his trial for crimes he committed in a resistance effort against an oppressive regime called the Functionary. After the crime syndicate's attack on Earth, the prosecution retrieves him, and his past crimes are then revealed to his friends, and he admits his guilt. And Solstice, who is a member of the Teen Titans and is in love with him, says that she does not want to live without him, so she kills a judge so she can be taken to Prison Planet with him.
Damn.
So that's where he is now.
Him.
Yeah, she really loved him. So
wow.
Now there's also been several alternate versions. There's one, Jessie Chambers, was the daughter of Johnny Quick. She was asked by Wally to be his replacement if something were to happen to him, as part of an elaborate plan to make Bart take his role in the legacy of the Flash more seriously. So basically, he wanted to make this big deal of going, I want you to take over as the Flash and say in case something happens. So Bart would go, whoa, what? And make him kind of step up a little bit. She actually briefly assumed the mantle of the Flash after Wally entered the Speed Force, but it didn't last long.
So Jessie is the daughter of Harrison Wells in the show.
In the show, yes.
So they may introduce her as Jessie Quick,
yes,
right, as a Speed Force, because she got it from the formula, right?
Yes, yeah, so in the comics, yeah. So she may get it from Velocity 9.
Could be.
Yeah. So,
but she would say it. She would say.
Yeah, she would say. Yeah, it was a formula that they would say that would give them speed.
I love that.
The power of math. That's what that
Magical
is.
math.
That's
right.
right.
You just got to say it.
Now, this other alternate version comes from one of my favorite Flash comics. In 1990, DC printed a 50th anniversary special that featured all three Flashes. John Fox was a historian for the 27th century and was sent back in time to get help from one or more of the three Flashes in order to defeat the radioactive villain Mota back in his own time. He visited the time periods of all three, but failed to talk to them to get help. It was a timed thing. He had like a certain amount of time in each time period. So he would find them, get almost to them to talk to them, and it would time's up. You're going to the next one.
Quantum
so
leap.
he hit, basically. He hit Jay Garrick as Jay was fighting a different version of Mota. Then he moved up to Barry, who was fighting another version of Mota, then Wally, and then it pulled him back to the 27th century. And when it did, the tachyons that they used to send him through time charged him up. So he came out of the machine with super speed. So he goes to the Flash Museum, combines the uniforms of all three, and becomes the 27th century's Flash.
Oh, cool.
So he had a completely new costume, but it was combined from all three of them. So, yeah, like I said, that's one of my favorite Flash comics. It was cool because you got all three of them in one, and then you had a new one thrown in there.
Yeah.
And you had a little thing at the back that had little flashbacks about how Jay kept his identity secret when he didn't wear a mask.
When he would vibrate his face.
Yeah. And the stuff about Wally having to eat a lot. And it went into like little facts about their powers and the way they differed.
Little minutia and quirks and stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty
awesome.
cool. So yeah, it was a good, and it was like an 80-page giant, so it was cool.
Damn, so many great Flash stories.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really long history, a great character, and a lot of. I mean, you had the kind of the supporting cast of speedsters it was still around. You had Johnny Quick, you had Max Mercury, you had the original Jay Garrick. That were all older and kind of like in mentor positions. to be able to. I mean, Jay for a while was kind of a mentor to pretty much the whole DC universe.
Yeah.
He was like the accepted kind of
old guy.
Yeah.
More so than Salt and Pepper Super, because it was already another
he
Super.
wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't around because they wanted to keep the regular Superman.
Right.
So they were able to, because Jay was a separate person. They were able to keep him around. Yeah.
Right.
So, he acted as a like the elder statesman for a good while for the entire DC universe.
So it looks like for a while Max Mercury was called Quicksilver as well.
Yes. Yep.
That's
was
interesting.
That was long ago. And I
guess,
think the
right.
character had kind of hadn't been seen, and the X-Men Quicksilver became popular.
Well, he came out in the 60s,
decided,
right?
Yeah.
So Max Mercury's from the 40s.
Yeah, but they hadn't used the character for a while.
Yeah.
So they changed his name.
Yeah, he was X Quicksilver, National Comics number 5, November 1940.
Yeah.
And then Max Mercury, 93.
Yeah. Yeah, so they brought him back. It's the same kind of thing. They wanted like an older speedster that wasn't Jay Garrick to be able to act as a mentor to people. And so they hadn't used him as Quicksilver in so long that they couldn't, the X-Men Quicksilver was now
he was
what everybody thought about. So they switched that to Max Mercury. So
cool.
So that is our showcase on the Flash.
Nice.
Quite a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that Flash. Yeah.
Not that Flash. Different one. So before we get out of here, we like to always give you our picks for the week. For me, the Totally Awesome Hulk. I'm really looking forward to reading that. That comes out today. And Robin War. That's been kind of leading up with the both the Batman and Robin Eternal, and the Grayson series are all kind of leading back into that.
Nice.
And I'm looking forward to this Robin War because it's going to include all of them. And I always enjoy seeing the Bat family interacting like that.
Yeah.
It's always a lot of fun. But now Bruce is not there, so Dick has to step up and kind of be the head of the family. And so I'm really looking forward to this Robin War and seeing where things go and what. So that starts today.
Yeah.
And Ringside is a comic we talked about a couple months ago. I think it came out last week from Image Comics. It's set in the world of professional wrestling.
Oh.
So I'm really looking forward to read that.
Boom.
Because it's something I've worked in.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in reading that and seeing how they do that.
Nice.
So those are my picks for the week. What
cool.
you got?
I'm not going for new stuff. I went back and I'm reading
Animal Man?
Yeah. Princess Leia. The Princess
cool.
Leia series. I bought the first issue and I had it like in my studio and I was like, oh, where'd this come from? And I just started thumbing through it and I was like, this is really good. And what did it for me was the last panel. Princess Leia was talking about how she wants to go to Naboo. And this is, this takes place after episode 4, right? Battle of Yavin.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not even, because they did that in Shattered Empire, right? To find out some stuff. And so that hooked me.
But
I was
that's
like,
set after Return of the Jedi.
right.
So,
which is like, well, why should you keep going to Naboo? You know, what is it about that place? So,
That's
we
Mama's
know.
Planet.
That's Papa's planet. That's right.
No, Mama's.
Mama's planet. Yeah. And then sticking with Star Wars, Chewbacca.
That's a good series.
It's been so good.
Yeah.
He's like helping this little girl, like basically free a whole mine of slaves.
Yeah.
And
he can't communicate.
Oh,
so the main character,
so well.
the main character of the book,
yes.
he can't. You can't have like dialogue boxes for him and have him doing even inner monologue. You can't have.
Nope.
So they're doing a really good job of using the girl to kind of provide everything.
To resound, yeah, and like it's just great pantomime, I guess, or body language that Chewie does, and I just think as a series, it's just so good. I mean, I'm just Phil Noto does covers. I mean, it's beautiful, and it's just a nice sort of, but it's him on his own. Chewie, same time period after the Battle of Yavin, so he's wanted in a major way.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Which he's an escaped slave, so he's always wanted.
Yeah, because Sheik, like most Wookiees are slaves, right? I mean, the whole race of them are all.
Yeah. Well, that's how Han and Chewie got together in the first place. Han set him free
Nice.
So that's why he's always with him, and he's always
got his back. Yeah.
Got his back. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Oh,
and that's how she got him into the whole thing, because she started talking about slaves, and that's when he kicked. He was like, okay, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, he literally is like, he can leave. He went to that planet to get something, like some device or something, and then he gets sucked into this whole thing, and he's taking out bad guys, and
and the whole thing is, like I said, she mentions the slaves, and like, even though you don't know what he's saying, you still know what he's saying. It's like, oh damn it, I could have left. I was this close.
Don't say it.
And you
meant for it.
Yeah, I'm in for it. So yeah, that's a look at our picks for the week, and that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of the Ninja Troll Digicast. Remember, for all the latest news from all around geek culture, make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook.com/Ninja Troll Digicast,
and on Twitter. No, I'm just kidding. At Ninja Troll Show,
and Instagram at Ninja Troll Digicast.
On the YouTubes at YouTube.com/C/Ninja Troll Digicast, and
we're also now on Stitcher.
That's
so you
right.
can find us on Stitcher.
We are so cool.
We are all over the place. And you can always visit us at NinjaTrollDigicast.com. And while you're there, click on the subscribe to iTunes button to get the Ninja Troll on iTunes. Make sure you join us next week. Same Ninja time, same Ninja channel.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Tune in next time when you'll hear Mike say,
"There, Wolf. There, Castle."
Why are you talking that way?
I thought you wanted to.
No, I don't want to.
Suit yourself. I'm easy.
This is the Ninja Troll Digicast, the defenders of all things geek culture.
Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.